In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit acminc.com today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and over. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located at Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
Go ahead with what you're saying there, Jack.
A little miscommunication there.
Yeah, just remember who you're sending a text to.
I think one
You
time
look ahead of time.
I think one time I did that. I was like,
Hold on.
texting.
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Almost forgot.
Damn it. I think this is the
pre-open?
first one I missed ever.
Well, so you guys got to get this little like insulator.
Oh, I got
Ready
one
to
at
go.
work. I got one at the house.
So what I'm going to do now is I put this one in there cold, insulated, cracked, set to the side. Now I have my other cider to drink. See, double fisted.
There you go. There you go.
Use an aromatic carbonation.
Just for the sound bite.
Oh, it's not going to take long. Okay, this thing will go down quick. So it's round one.
What is that?
This one here or this one here? This one here. What do we got? We got lavender. The grapefruit lavender.
I bring the insulator thing to the baseball games.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So that I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I think Alexia might care.
Oh,
so I just
so it's
because I always
covered?
drink the cider, and
Okay.
it's just there.
Yeah, and it's not quite like exposed.
Yeah, it
What
could
you're
be
drinking?
anything.
Yeah.
just says
could be
canned in
could be like
Alaska.
a Monster energy drink.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Drinking that at 7:30 at night.
Yeah. Woo, let's
Just
go.
has some antlers hanging out there.
Now it's good. Did you guys just can this recently?
Yeah. We just canned grapefruit lavender 2 weeks ago. So this is a fan favorite. Definitely has a following, and we usually try to release it like on the first hot day of the year.
Is it another summer release too?
Yeah. Like late spring, early summer, first hot day.
Okay.
First, how do you judge that? What's
You
that?
just guessed. I was like, oh, this year it's going to be May 16th.
Okay, the day it comes out, that's the first hot
Yeah,
day.
but you just look around town for sundresses, and you're like, oh,
Okay,
canning
yes.
grapefruit lavender today.
Hot. It's not. It's I think it's more perfected in the first few batches. Remember the first one was very lavendery.
Yeah.
I like that like soapy instant, hit your tongue. But we definitely have rounded it out a little bit.
It's balanced.
Yeah, it's super balanced.
Yeah, because I was making that comment. I was like, I thought there was a more lavender, like an all lavender one. And you're like, no, this is the one. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not tasting the bite on the back of my tongue, that soapy bite you always say.
You take the
which I'm good with.
The grapefruit comes through more.
Yeah, it's got a more citrus twang to it.
Yeah, so the citric and malic acid are balancing it for sure. And so we were able to do that with just like really fresh grapefruit instead of like more grapefruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it, man. It's really, really good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Tristan, what do you think, man?
I love it.
You like it?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a cider guy. Beer always kind of messes with my stomach.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I'm good for one or two, but cider is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, maybe beer hops might get you a little bit.
It
maybe?
is. I do not like hoppy stuff.
Okay, so IPAs are
At
like
all.
big time no.
Big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do it.
Not at all.
Cool. Well, you
And
came to the right place, man.
I love
We
hoppy.
we have 2 refrigerators full of cider. Not one, but 2 refrigerators.
You have a backup refrigerator as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
It's like,
in case someone goes
we're out of beer. Oh, no, we're not.
So what do we have today? We have lavender, and what else is in there?
Oh, there's a whole
So-
array. There's
The other one that I was
Farmhouse?
showing you was the farmhouse hopped. So that
new
is
one,
a
too.
way to make an IPA with a cider. It's really hard. You got to figure out a way to balance the bitterness units, and we nailed it. It took us a while and some nerdy chemistry stuff, but so that one turned out really good. And then the other fridge has a bunch of stuff like cider mosa.
Cider mosa. What's that?
Oh man,
That's
that's
my
my
wife's
next one I got
favorite.
here. This
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this can.
Yeah.
Galen did a good job with this.
I opened it or I'd pass it to you.
so you double fisting
Everyone's
too?
double fisting to me. What's going
Yeah,
on?
come
I'm not
on.
yet. I'm not yet. Well,
Not yet.
I got a thing going on.
Cider mosa is like a mimosa, but with cider.
But with cider. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
That's my wife's favorite.
It's super high.
That sounds
octane.
refreshing as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. 8%.
I'm definitely more into the refreshing type of drinks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I brought a nice smorgasbord of ciders out on our hunt this
Oh,
weekend.
nice.
And I had Cherry Lau, Farmhouse Hopped, and what was the other one I had? Oh man, I went down
Crimson Mint.
Crimson Mint.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'd
Yep.
love that one for refreshing.
Damn, I felt bad. I was all just like nest egging them over here. And I got to the last one, and Chad, you want to try one of these? Oh yeah, I didn't see those. In there. I was like, oh yeah. Sorry, I've been drinking them.
Yeah.
Gave him the last. That's my favorite. That one's rhubarb mint.
Yeah.
That one's like a major party in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like it's like
An explosion of pleasure in your mouth.
yes, explosion. Yeah, it's super good.
Where was your hunt?
On the Kenai Peninsula.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Unit 15, and we just did a quick weekend thing, and you guys want to jump right into that?
Yeah, I want to hear some stories.
Cool. So it was an eventful trip. Second trip with Chad Arntz, Mountain Division. first just want to say, I got a straight bro crush on Chad, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. That dude, like, I told him this, and I don't mind saying it on the show, and letting the world know. The dude just has a presence about him, and I feel this way about him in like life and the world, but like when you're out in the woods with him. So last year I was lucky enough to go do a sheep hunt with him. Last minute, both of our sheep hunts fell apart. Daniel hooked us up. It was like 24 hours, and we were hooked up going into the Talkeetnas and went and got a ram, and it was an amazing experience. Spent the first like 24 hours of our trip in the tent in the weather, so it was like
get to know each other real quick.
Each other stuff. Yep, exactly. And so we've kept in touch, through the winter, and then we went to the sheep show together and had an amazing time with our group of friends. We saw you that night, I think, at F Street, right? Briefly. I know you said that. I was like, oh, yeah, a little fuzzy there at the end.
Well, Chad's bringing Jägermeister back, and so he was kind of
He is, man. He's like proud of that, too.
Yep.
Yeah, he mentioned that. He's like, I just bust that out. And everybody's like, what the hell? That's fucking nasty. Okay, I'll take a shot. So kind of squirreling off a little bit. But my point on Chad was that, I don't know, there's just something about being out there with him that the way he carries himself with his confidence and just his presence, it's like being on a team and playing with a teammate that's like really influential, both culture and skill and talent. So it helps you elevate your game.
Yep.
So when I'm with him in the woods, there's just this elevated focus and this mindset, being positive and just like, I feel like I got to like rise to the occasion. And so even though this hunt was a very like casual and relaxed hunt, not like high pressure or like really hard, it was still, we were bear hunting, and he had a bow, and we knew if we were going to get on a bear, it was going to be close. And so, we talked a lot about the preparation and everything we were going to do. So, going into the hunt, we had an awesome, beautiful drive down, got to camp. We conversated about the lay of the land and the different areas we could hunt. So we came up with a plan, woke up the next morning, and then the wind was just blowing like hell. So we couldn't get out in the water. And so we decided that we were just going to go ahead and go find some game trails and go hike around. So we went back in to this valley that I had been in, but never really like pursued or hunted hard, just kind of glassed and messed around. And we ended up spotting a nice black bear back in the back of the valley. So we're sitting there for a bit, and the wind's still howling, and it's like, well, shit, we don't have anything else better to do today. Let's go back there and see if we can't get close. So we hiked for about an hour or so, kind of picked our way through some game trails, got back in there, and got a little closer, got up on a rise to get a better view of this bear on the hill. And it was pretty high up, like pretty much like no play on this bear, but just nice to know it was up there. We spot another black bear, and it's lower. And we're like, oh, cool. All right, well, this bear is actually like in a spot where we might be able to make a play on him. So we go ahead and jump back down into the bottom of the valley, traverse our way maybe another 800 yards or so. Now we get a little bit closer to the slope where we saw the bear, hop up on another high point and start glassing. So we're like, all right, man, the bear's in a really good spot. Well, the bear's really finicky. He's like pacing, and he's walking back and forth, and he's up and down and over, standing up, sniffing the air, kind of squirreling around like something was like startling him, and we're like, man, this bear's acting goofy, so we're just going to sit there and patter him for a bit. And we're not going to make a play because like the bear won't sit still. So we're thinking, we don't want to get down and start making a stalk, and then he blows out of there. We can't find him. So we'll just wait. It's like, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We had plenty of time. Beautiful day, lots of daylight. So he kind of dips behind a little bushel, and I decide I'm going to jump off this rock and kind of relocate to a spot just next to where we were at to get another angle, see if I can relocate the bear. And Chad's like, hey, get back up here. And I'm like, what? De's like, dude, there's a big-ass brown bear right there. And we're like, oh, shit. And it's like 600-700 yards down right below us in some, like, deadfall. Mm-hmm. And I never actually I've seen brown bears on the Russian. I've seen some grizzlies up north, like moose hunting, but like way, way off in the distance. But I've never seen one just in the, I guess when you see them at the Russian, they're number one, they're like adolescent, smaller bears. I've never seen like a really big one. I've seen a big sow and cubs once, but they were just on fish, eating fish, and there was no threat. All the other adolescent young bears, and I'm sure all of you guys have been to the Russian and ran into bears, right? A lot of times. En's had some close encounters, I'm sure. But it just feels a little different because they're down there for kind of a reason, even though there's just as much danger and risk going down there, being close to bears as you would be, out hunting them. Anyway, so this bear's down there, and he's just this huge ball of brown. Like, he looks pretty sizable. So we're like, oh, shit, man, looks like what could be a pretty nice bear. So he's kind of pacing back and forth. He finally turns around and sits down. And if you've ever seen a bear sit, it's like Winnie the Pooh, like a honey bear. They just kind of like sit there kind of goofy, their legs are out and their arms are down, and he's just sitting there kind of just like looking back and forth. And he's just got a 5-gallon gas can on his head. He's just massive head, no neck, snout looks like a coffee can, his ears are like on the side of his head. It's like, oh shit, man, that looks like a really nice bear.
Yeah, mature bear.
Mature bear. Yep. I've had the chance to, hunt bears pretty frequently the last 5 years, and I've always seen bears. And as anybody that's hunted bears knows, bears are really hard to judge, especially black bears, because they're all black. And so, you're looking at the ears and leg length and head size and belly distance to the ground, and you're trying to do all this judgment. Brown bear, it's like either kind of big or tall and spindly, or it's like this just tank. And this bear was a tank. It didn't have any legs, it didn't have any neck, and it was like clearly a nice big mature bear. Super excited. So we're watching him for a few minutes, and he's pacing behind this deadfall kind of clump of old, trees and brush. And he's not moving as if he's like passing through. He's like pacing, and he's going back and forth, and he kind of like, he's rooting around, digging around, and then he like goes back over and sits down again, like kind of that funny looking honey bear thing. And then finally he lays down, and we're like, oh, okay. Looks like he's going to sit still for a little bit. And we're watching him a little bit more. Maybe 10 or 15 minutes goes by. His head's popping up. He's looking around, and his head's popping up. He's looking around. Finally, he lays that head down.
Are you stalking him at this point?
No. We're just watching him from the high point. We're still just kind of like, pattern him, watch him. I mean, we felt like we had all day, and he wasn't going anywhere. So we're like, well, I mean, if we're like going to go for this bear with a bow, I feel like this is a really great opportunity because he's sitting still. We have cover. We have wind. The wind's howling from right to left, and we're going to go straight at him. I mean, we've got the wind perfect. And it's good. It's blowing about 15 knots. I mean, it's just constantly like, whew. So we're like, man, this is a pretty good layout for a stock. And I've never stalked a bear with a bow. I've always stalked with a rifle and got to like 100 yards and like made a shot, you never, but with a bow, we know we got to get 30, 40 yards to make a good shot on a bear, at least where Chad was comfortable. Mm-hmm. So we decided we're going to go ahead and make the stock. We go ahead and we kind of pick our way down this old, this big rock. And then we get down into the deadfall, and we're crawling over stuff, and it's louder than shit. I mean, it's snap, crackle, pop, snap, this. And it's like, shit, man, we get like close. He's definitely going to hear us. So we take our sweet time and just crawl across this flat, close the gap. And then we get to about maybe like 50, 60 yards, and we know like he's like right. We had this like tree that was like skidded up, like the skin was off of it. So we had this like landmark, like he's right behind that. Yeah. And so we kind of went to the left of it, and we keep advancing. And then we get to like the edge of that deadfall pile of stuff where we kind of know where he's at. And
do you hear him or see him at all?
No, not at this point. Yeah. Nope. So, but we felt like if he pushed back up on the hill, we would have seen him. If he went to the left, we would have seen him. If we would have pushed to the right, we might see him, but he'd have to go pretty far before we saw him. But we felt confident that he was still there. Now, all this, meanwhile, we still have the one black bear at the top. The other black bear the one we were going to make a stalk on, is the one that was being finicky, walking back and forth. He's right there. He's like 150 yards away, still at the bottom of the hill, doing what he was doing before.
So there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. And then Chad's like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, that wasn't there before. I look up, another brown bear standing there looking down the hill. It's probably 400 or 500 yards up, but it's just pops up out of the brush. And I'm like, God damn.
And you guys don't think it's the same brown bear?
Oh, it's not. No, it's blonde. It's really, really blonde, smaller head, big bear, nice bear. Thought maybe it was a sow, and it was blonde. It was like very bright, like blonde. Looked like it was rubbed. Like it was like really rubbed, whereas the bear we were looking at was like still very thick hide. You could see the fur really good. We going back, like Chad was going to try and use a spotting scope, but the heat waves, what do you call that? Like heat waves distort. It's called like I think the technical term thermal pollution or something. It's like it pollutes your view in the glass, and it just like waves, it almost makes you like nauseous when you look through, and it's like So we ended up just bagging the whole spotting scope thing way back, and so we advanced, get to that deadfall edge, and now we're like there's logs crossing each other, and we have to start crawling over those. So now we like start crawling up on those, and they're like the equivalent of like maybe jumping in the back of a truck and like being able to kind of look up. Mm-hmm. So you got maybe 5 or 6 foot elevation kind of looking, and there he is. You can see his back. Mm-hmm. He's pacing, kind of the same general vicinity that he was before. And but you don't see his head. You just see his like humping his ass and his back, and he's just cruising. And it was like, oh,
how
man.
far away is that?
We're probably 50 yards at this point. So we're getting like really to the strike zone. And thank you for asking. I meant to say that to give the listeners and you guys some perspective. So we decide, okay, now to advance, we have to like crawl over logs. It's all logs now. There's no like clear. It's all just like, set your rifle down or your bow and like crawl over and crack, snap, pop, and you're just like, fuck, dude, we're just like making so much noise.
Hope he doesn't charge at that point, right?
Yeah, or just anything. Really, I was just like this, we're going to spook him. Like, we're just going to, like, if you've ever, made a stalk on a bear that doesn't know your existence, most of the time, if they wind you, they're out. Yeah. They see you, they'll check you out, and they're out. Like, bears don't want to be around humans. Let's get it straight.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what the percentage is, but more times than not, bears run away, escape, and flee before they'll ever actually, like, charge. They fight or flight, out. So now we close the gap to about 30 yards, and we cannot advance further. We know where the bear's at. Chad stands up on a log. Now he's going to go ahead and he knocks a bow and knocks an arrow, and he's ready to go. I go ahead and go to his left about 20 feet, and I stand up on another log. So now the bear, if we're looking forward, we have this old like spruce tree that had fallen over, and the root ball and everything had just like ripped out. So it was this like wall of, shit with like other, brush and trees kind of mixed in. So it was this like 20 foot long by like 10 foot high pile of stuff. And the bear had paced. Chad got up, had a lane. The bear paced in behind that clump. So now Chad had a lane directly in front of him. Mm-hmm. So if like, I'm looking at you, Jack, the lane between you and Tristan, and then there's a lane to your left. So I'm a little bit to his left. He's got his lane right in front of him and his lane to his left. So he's got 2 lanes. All he needs is the bear to pop out on either side.
And how far away is the bear?
This is 30 yards.
30 yards.
Yeah, 35 yards, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And so totally bow close.
And the bear hadn't heard you or anything?
Well, I assume he did, because all that noise we were making at that point, wind or not, I'm pretty sure he heard like the snapping and cracking. I mean, they rely on their nose, but I mean, at some point they can, you're in sensory range. So he's a wild animal. I'm thinking he caught on to us. So Chad gets set up. I get up on the other log and I see him dip like behind that clump to Chad's left in my direct. And I'm like, Chad, he's right there. He's right there. He's like, all right, if he comes out right here, I'm going to stick him. If he comes out around the other side,
The left side of the clump?
The left side of the clump, I'm going to stick him. I'm like, perfect. I got one in the chamber, safety off. I've been practicing while we were kind of walking up. I've been practicing pulling my rifle up to my eye just to kind of get an idea of the distance.
Yeah.
I had a 3 to 9 scope, and I like messed around. When we were walking up, I kind of messed around and powered it in and out real quick, and I was like, ooh, keep it at 3, man, as close as possible. Yeah. Just to get a gauge, Never shot anything that close. It's always been like pretty, 100 plus yards.
3 like that, yeah.
Oh, totally.
What's the rifle?
It was a 375 Ruger. It was the rifle I won at the Sheep
last year.
banquet last year. And I just went the Sunday before and got it zeroed at the range at 100, 250 grain Hornady Outfitters, good ammo, felt good about it. And so went out in the field with it, like ready to rock.
Yeah.
I felt really good about shooting that rifle. So back to the stock. So, but when I was pulling my gun up, I had my pack on, which in hindsight, I kind of feel like I almost should have just taken off and dropped, maybe like back a little bit. But like that rule, like you just never drop your pack.
Yeah.
Is like I just kept it on. It was light. We were just day packing, so there wasn't anything in there. But the
Strap.
yeah, like it's that the vinyl or whatever on your pack pad is slippery. So the butt of your gun's kind of like slipping. So I kind of practiced a couple.
The Cordura.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of like got it towards like, okay, cool. I can kind of like mitigate it and keep it good and still feel like I can make a good shot. And so I do a little practicing. Chad's ready. Bear's doing his thing. He goes behind that clump. So Chad's ready. He's not drawn, but he's got his arrow in, and he's just waiting for an opportunity, and then he's going to draw. So I look down on the log. I'm standing on a log about half the size of this table, so it's a big tree, and kind of reset my foot. So I'm like that
On the log?
with my head down, and I look up, and that motherfucker's full charge now. So I missed him coming out of behind the clump.
Okay.
I missed that like second by having my head down. Just for a second.
That's all it took.
I just look down to reset my foot, and I look up and I turn, and that thing's full eye contact, full charge.
How far away now?
About 40 yards, 35, 40 yards. I think it was closer, 30, because it all ended at 15. So it was pretty close. So what Chad saw was that the bear turned the corner, saw me, and instantly came. No like stop, look, sniff, run, stand up, or any kind of like alert bear type behavior. It was turn, go. And I look up and I'm like, holy shit, like I've never ever been charged. And it was like, bam, time, just everything kind of like time stood still, everything stopped, and it was like full focus. This thing's just barreling. So the sun is like shining on this bear. So his eyes are So his eyes are like glassy, but he's making eye contact, and his fur is like shiny, and you can just see the ripples in his shoulders and his ass, just like whoo. You see his claws just like digging in, and it was like the most. I'll never forget it. It's seared in my mind. The most surreal. That bear is just like coming, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is going down. So I instantly pull my rifle. Now he covers about 10 yards and like maybe 15 yards and like 3. Yes, he's about 40 yards out. He does like 3 hard goes. Now he has to mogul over some like crisscross logs. Thank goodness, because it slowed him down a little bit. So he wasn't like on a flat, right? He had to like kind of mogul some logs. Never left eye contact until he looked at Chad. So he had like looked at Chad, looked at me, moguled those logs, and we thought, okay, I thought in the like half a second of thinking about this, he was going to stop and bluff, like, kind of do one of those, which was perfect, because then that would give Chad an opportunity to take a shot on him.
Got it.
So once he moved those logs, full dig in again, like he's coming. That was it.
To you, eye contact with you.
Straight at me. Still eye contact with me. Looked at Chad, turns, looked at me again.
And you're seeing this in the scope.
This is like in the scope. Like I pull up, I'm looking in the scope. It's crazy at that distance. He filled the scope almost. The radius of him in the scope was perfect. Yeah. I still had a clear view. Yeah. It wasn't too close. It wasn't like blurred. It was like perfect. And I just basically at that point, it was like about 20 yards and I wasn't going to wait any longer. So I stuck him.
Where?
Right? I'll never forget this. I hit the crosshairs. So his mouth was open. So when he was charging, his mouth was like, his jaw was down. And my crosshairs, I remember, touched his bottom of his mouth. And then I just like dropped it down like right below that. Bam! Pulled the trigger on the first shot.
The head.
Right below the head.
Yeah.
And so I think I just center mass, punched him in his like neck, chest or something. Never really actually figured this out, but punched him and he ate that first bullet. He kind of like, boom, he kind of shoulder. Oh yeah. Yeah. It slowed him down. Like it like, it hit him like he hit, like, you know, it hit him. Yeah. And then he like, head came back up and he lunged forward, but he like lost the steam of his charge. So then he lunged forward, got his feet, and then turned sideways like this. And then he turned around and looked at me with his mouth open, but broadside now. So in that like second, I racked another one real quick, bam, back in the glass. The whole time I kept him like back up, never took my eye off of him.
Like a gunslinger.
Well, just honestly, this is all.
That's what I do. I've seen him do it. Like that's exactly.
No, I mean,
in the movies.
It's like Doc Holliday.
And again, like, let me be clear. This is all like time stood still. It was like, it almost felt fake. It was like, it was all reaction. This was no like, it was just like boom, boom, boom. So second one goes in behind the left shoulder.
Okay.
Like I know I hit the crosshairs right behind his left shoulder. Wham. He spins around and he's pissed now. He's, making a bunch of noise.
Is he coming close?
No. He's like in position.
Yeah.
And he spins around because like a hard 360 and then stands up. And he's like got his paws up like this. And now he's got like blood like kind of coming out of his mouth. And then he like, you could kind of tell he was going to try to like lunge again, but he's hurt.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of like got up like he was going to come and he was just like, guy got nothing. And then no chances. I racked another one and I put it right in his chest. Right dead center, right in his chest.
As he was standing up?
As you're standing up. Yep. So third one, pop, 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 boom, smacked him in his chest. And it was weird because he dropped his paw like right at the moment I pulled the trigger. And I hit him and he went like this. Like this. He like looked at his paw. Like this. So I thought maybe I nicked his paw when he hit, but no damage on that paw.
Oh, weird.
So I think maybe that was like
the
nerves or just something from the other gunshot wounds or from the shot. I'm not sure. So now he stumbles back. He's on his back legs. He stumbles back and he kind of like trips on a stump and then he like piles up and now he's like stuck on the stump. And it takes him about 30-45 seconds to like fully stop. Like,
did he do the bear whine?
No, not like a whine, but he was pissed.
Okay.
Not crying, not whining, not like that kind of sad kind of thing you hear him.
Breath of the bear.
No, he was angry. He was
One
like
of the stub your toe.
Yeah, he was just just constantly like growling. And then I said, Chad, I'm out. And so this is where I made my mistake. My rifle's a 3-in-1, so I had extra rounds in my pocket. I should have threw one in the chamber.
Yeah.
Then had the 3 in the clip, which I always do on every other situation. But as we approached the bear, I went ahead and racked one because we were getting so close.
Gotcha.
And then I just had the 3.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of fucked up there,
And you didn't have another one to put in?
Oh, I had them in my pocket. So I had them like quick access. So I said, Chad, I'm out. Well, but I think by the second shot, Chad had kind of chucked his bow down, and then he was kind of sort of fumbling with getting his 10 millimeter out from behind his bino harness. So he had his 10 mil and his bino harness. Yeah. So he had a little bit of a delay on his end getting that out. And so I said, I'm out. And I jump off the log kind of like to my left, and I'm like reaching in and I'm reloading. And now he's kind of like jumped off the log and he's sidestepping over like with the pistol, like drawn on the bear in case it like jumps up. But he's done. The bear's done. I'm pretty sure the first shot would have ended it.
Well, it's cool that it stopped him. Like, you know.
Well, and then like before I get to that part, so Chad said after the first or second shot, I have to double check with him. So we talked about this ad nausea, but some of the stuff. Something caught it out of the corner of his eye. 3 coyotes took off behind him.
Oh, wow.
So
that's probably why he was pacing back and forth, trying to keep those coyotes at bay.
Three bears on the hill. One way off, but the 2 close, and then the coyotes. And then here comes us.
Yeah.
You know,
Jeez.
getting in tight.
Just predator.
So I think he's just stressed out, high alert, and
He had something they wanted.
correct. So first thing I do, I look right at Chad and I'm like, Chad, I'm so sorry, dude. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, this was your bear. Like, you were supposed to, like, this all went to perfection. Like, this stock, this setup, the bear, cooperating. Like, it all was like the perfect. I'm sure there's other bow hunters that will listen to this that may have like experienced something like this and go, oh yeah, that's happened to me where I was making the stock and my homie had to shoot the bear because it was going to kill us.
Well, that's why you come.
That's exactly. Yeah.
That's why you bring somebody.
Well, and that was what it was cool because we were texting before the trip and he's like, I'm going full bow. And I was like, oh, badass. He's like, I'll back you up with the new 375. He's like, cool. I'm just going to bring my pistol. I'm like, right on. His full commitment to bow or nothing. Like, I think a true bow hunter who's going to take game with a bow leaves the gun at home, and he's good with either coming home empty-handed or tagging an animal with that bow. I mean, and that takes a lot of discipline to, like, you know, because you could just like throw a gun in your pack and have your bow and be like, oh, I can't get him. Well, here's the rifle. Yep. I still want to take my animal. Yeah. And it was like, so I was just like, we were full 100% committed to Chad taking the bear.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why I felt instantly remorseful. Well, I also had a good friend of mine who got charged by a bear last year, moose hunting. And I like thought about him instantly. I was like, oh, fuck, that's what that felt like. Because he told me his story, you know? Yeah. And so I thought about that. And then he's like, you had to do what you had to do. He's like, dude, I'm impressed that you even like waited that like extra half a second because it looked like he might stop and bluff and then I could get a shot. So I thought that through. So in the moment I was still thinking like Chad's bear, like he's going to bluff. I'm going to pull the trigger at the last second. And he's like, man, it's a good thing the first one hit. He's like, I might have had to shoot that bear off you. Yeah. And I'm like, you're right, dude. Because if the first one didn't hit, he was at like 20 yards. If the first one didn't hit and I had to rack another one, he would have been like right on me. So it would have been like a hip shot, super. And I had nowhere to go. I couldn't run. I couldn't jump. I couldn't do anything. There's like all logs around. So I was like, I was stuck where I was at. So that started running through my head. And then
you couldn't use your camo and just sit still.
Just like, hope he just didn't see me. No. He was looking in my eyes. Yeah. He was looking in my soul, actually.
Oh my God. That's so scary.
Dude. And then this like instant adrenaline dump hit me. And I was just like, started shaking, like started feeling nauseous, like I was going to puke. And I'm like, oh shit. Like that kind of came and went for about a minute. And I was like, damn. And, you know, Chad's just calm as shit over there. He's just like, dude, I can't believe what just fucking happened. Yeah. Cause his view was like, he had like the front row view of what happened.
And had a little bit of a profile, right?
A profile. Like where Daniel's at and I'm at, he saw it. Like he had me in his visual and the bear all like in as it all kind of came into proximity. So in my view was like through the scope and the shooting and the whole like fear for my life kind of situation. And so he's like totally talking me off the ledge, like, bro, it's all good. Like you had to do what you had to do. This is what happens when you bow hunt. Like, and you're hunting predators, like this is the risk you take. And and I'm like, man, he's like doing everything to make me feel good about what just happened and why it had to happen. And he's commending me on my like shooting. And he's like, dude, you were acting like that happened to you before. Yeah. And I was like, I know it felt really like the whole stock and everything. We were just talking. We were calm. And in the past, in my like younger days of hunting, admittedly, I get really jacked up. If we're going to go kill a moose or a caribou or something, just the idea of like taking an animal just like gets me so excited and like almost like where my lips quivering, you know, I'm just like, whoa, just get pumped. But this experience was like, act like you've been here before.
Yeah.
Like calm, stay cool, be ready. You're backing him up. Shit could go down. This is the time to be like ice water in your veins, like chill.
Do you think you had an increased heart rate during that? Or?
I don't. No, I didn't. I like was keeping it cool. Like I kept, like it got fired up when we left the mountain or left the hill and we were coming down and it was like the anticipation of what we were going to do.
Yeah.
But I like was able to kind of bury that back down once we got about halfway across.
Yeah.
And then it was just
What did you
like,
do to bury that?
I was breathing.
Yeah, breathing.
Breathing and focused. And then I was like, I was like, checking my rifle, and then we got closer and I put one in the chamber, had my safety on. Hey, Chad, my gun's hot. One in the chamber, safety on. I'm behind him. So he knows my gun and he's good with it. He's comfortable. He trusts me. And that's the other thing cool about Chad and I's like newfound like hunting relationship is there's this like instant bond of trust in terms of like,
which is what you were getting at, is saying, what you commented about Chad.
Yeah, and
like,
that's what he kind of brought to the table was like, it's just a comfort factor of like trusting who you're with. And it's like, that's exactly what it is. Like, I just feel comfortable, so I feel confident, and I'm just calm. I'm good.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, he took me on some wicked knife lines at 7,000 feet last year on that sheep that I would never, ever do. But he was like, it's all good. We're going to approach it, and then we're going to look at it. And he's like, I'll go first. Test it, and we did it, and it was like, he made me feel comfortable,
that's the synergy of having a good partner.
Yes.
And it's you both elevate each other.
Yes, exactly. And he said the same exact thing, and I'm like, man, I've never like hunted with somebody else that like said I made them a better hunter, that at least admitted it. It made me feel so good. I'm like, because I'm kind of waver in my confidence level as a hunter. I just always feel like and hunters are always learning, but I feel like I still feel like a rookie, even though I've been doing it really, really hard for the last like decade. But I just still feel like
that's good.
My approach is like I'm like soaking up every minute of every opportunity and every scenario, and like absorbing it and never taking it for granted. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so bear goes down, and I'm like, I don't even want to go near that fucking thing. Like, I just like let him hang out. I was like, let's go investigate what's going on where he was at.
Where he was pacing? Yeah.
So we walk around him, I'm looking at him, and it's like, man, that was fucking crazy. Go around that stump or that clump, and he's just got this like matted down area where he's just been it's mud smashed down. What do we find? A full 1,000-pound cow, fully buried.
Oh, wow.
With like the ear, it was laying on its right side. So if you're looking at it, it'd be the head to your left, ass to your right, legs sticking out of the dirt. Excavated like a backhoe, like picked up dirt and like plopped it on this thing. He just ripped the earth up around and just had that cow completely buried, my undershirt, ear, and legs sticking out.
That's what he'd been doing the full.
Yep.
So how long from start to finish was the spot? So you actually came up on him.
Yeah, great question. I would say that the whole scenario was probably 45 minutes to an hour maybe in time. I think it was like 1:45 or so. I looked at my watch. It was like 1:44 when we left. It was like 2:33 or something. And I looked at my watch and I was looking at the dead bear.
Looking back on it, do you think he was burying it the whole time? Or do you think he was just
protecting?
Yeah, I think he had it buried the whole time.
Okay.
And then he was just, I think the coyotes were the main reason that he was messing around, because I think those coyotes were probably like
the immediate threat.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's not really threatened by them in terms of like his physical danger, and not to mention like a coyote can get in there and nip at that moose or whatever. But anything getting into that moose, it'd have to be a bear to get it out. There ain't no like coyote or fox we even the next day were watching eagles sitting on that thing trying to get into it, and there's just so much dirt on it.
Yeah,
they were probably struggling. So we go over there and see that, and we see a bunch of droppings, and you could see some little calf droppings. So it looked like maybe he probably smoked a calf or two, first. Most likely had those things fully consumed, and then buried the cow. Yep. And so we kind of like checked that out, and then we decided to kind of reenact the whole thing. And I got a video of that, as far as like I videoed Chad like saying what the bear did, and it walks around. I'll edit that and send it to you. Maybe you can throw it out there. But it was pretty cool. Just like Chad's like, okay, this is what I saw. And then, he shows the bear, walking to here, thinking he got our wind, kind of hit that brush, swirled. Then he turned the corner, saw me standing on the log, sticking straight up, turned and burned, came right at me. And then he's showing where he's walking towards it, and he's like, he's going. And then he shot him here, and then shot him here, and then here. And then at the end, it was like, holy shit, it's so close from the bear to me. Like, it's one thing from where I saw it, from where I was at to where I shot the bear. But when you stood where the bear was, to me, it was like 15 yards when it finally went down.
15 yards is nothing.
It's very close. I mean, it's
right
basically to the end of the, right to the wall almost. And it was like, damn, man. So we went ahead and skinned him out. And Chad, bless his heart, his Kafaru pack, I couldn't put the thing in my pack. My pack was not big enough.
Oh, yeah, no.
I couldn't put it in there. I mean, I could have detached my load shelf and like tried to stuff it in there, which I think I could have got it in there. But Chad's like, he's so proud of that Kafaru. Man, we were just talking about that. Damn, he's going to be listening to this. Like, come on, Brandon.
It's the same one that, same pack that,
Jake's got.
Jake has?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
God, I'll probably look it up before we get too far here.
It's on one of our first episodes when we did our pack review.
Yeah, but anyway, man, we stuffed that thing in a game bag and kept the skull in it and the feet and everything.
So you
in
didn't
it.
have to cut it in half or anything?
No, well, I mean, if I wasn't with Chad, maybe, because he's just a beast and he's in amazing shape and he's got tree trunk thighs and he's just like maybe 5% body fat.
He's on that Create 38.
Create 38. Hey, and for the record, we just crushed a couple of those before the stock. So
Nice.
good shout out. Yeah, no, and I tried that beat one.
Did you have the capsules for the Crate 38, or did you have the bar?
Just the bars.
But
yeah.
on your sheep hunt, you had some capsules, didn't you?
He did. He
Okay.
did. I did not try any. I didn't know anything about it. He had his own little he's dialed with salt tablets and he's got bars and he's got like a full fuel system, and I'm just like, drink water and barely eat.
That's right. He was telling me about that sheep hunt that when you were getting cramps and had you take some salt tablets.
Yep, and I've never had them, but oh man, those things came in the clutch. I was like fully seized.
Nutrition is so key when you're out in the mountains exerting yourself, especially on these hunts in Alaska, rugged terrain.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, and at high altitude and elevation, things are a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything's a factor.
Yeah, man, he packed that damn bear all the way to the end of our valley where we got back to camp, and man, it was like, and then the last 300 yards was like swamp tussocks.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it was just nightmare. So,
and how much do you think it weighed?
I was thinking it was like 100, and then I put it on, and I was like, oh hell no, it was like at least 150.
Yeah.
Easily 150. I mean, the head alone was 50 pounds.
Yeah.
The paws are, I don't know, 5 pounds each, felt like. And of course, I'm not a real good skinner. That was only third bear. So I'm not really efficient at like fleshing while I'm skinning.
Yeah.
So tons of flesh on it still, tons of fat on it still. The tail, I made sure and left the, proof of sex on there. So it's just like all that added weight. Cause now I pulled the skull out and the feet, and I've got it all sealed up, and I just dropped the hide off today, and it was so much easier to carry like by myself in a tarp without all the shit that was in it when he carried it in the pack. What an animal, dude. He carried that whole thing out, and he drops it on the beach there, and we went back up to camp and instantly made us some noodle bowls, got some salt in us, cracked some beers, had some Kenai dip and pretzels, just put out everything, and just we're scarfing. And I was like, man, we should probably go get that bear now, huh? And he's like, oh, that's your turn. Okay, so I the last 200 yards, and I put it on, and I'm like, Chad, how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah.
Like I would have had to stop, break, take it off. I think we stopped maybe 4 or 5 times, but only for a minute or two.
Yeah.
And how far in did you go?
So straight like hard walk, it was about 45 minutes. If you just like hard walk, because we had the next day we went back in there and came back out, and we were just cruising.
So it's probably 3 miles, huh?
Oh yeah, I'd say
4
so.
miles?
Yeah, that's a good guess. Yeah, but with that big ass bear on there, it was crazy. And you guys saw the picture with the bear on the back. I mean, the bear's head was.
I was saving that one for when we post the thing. So once this show comes out, then we'll post it.
We'll throw that up there. Yeah, like the bear's head width is as wider than our backs.
Yeah,
when it's on there.
Huge noggin.
Yeah. Yeah, you ended up. I got him unofficially measured just by ADF&G at the ceiling station, 26 and 3/16.
Okay.
So big noggin, 8.5 foot or so square. Okay. That's just my measurements. I just kind of did the full, like normal,
This
nose
way,
to tail, and front legs. Yep.
Nice.
So, we don't have to keep on going. It was actually really fun to finally tell you guys the story, because I sent you pictures and I sent you a text, and I've told the story to like 15 people at work my boss and my brother and a lot of my other buddies. And
you perfected it. And then
now I was like, man, I think I actually told it probably the best this time. I actually nailed the timelines, and I was thinking about it on the way, because it was, in all honesty, to kind of like just go ahead and wrap it up. It was truly an experience of a lifetime. Right now, for me, is a bear of a lifetime. It's a beautiful bear for a Unit 15 bear. It's a very exceptional bear, and to do it with Chad and the experience and just the conversations after that, it kind of like almost, we had already had some good like heart to hearts, but after we had that situation and then we got some beers in, it was like full go.
You guys cut your palms and do the blood shake.
The whole thing, dude, just straight up, man. Thank you, Chad. You're the man, dude.
That's awesome.
You're the man. So,
that's awesome.
It was pretty wicked experience, guys. I don't wish that on anybody though.
Are you done bear hunting or?
I'll go bear hunting, but I'm not.
You'll back him up again?
I'll back him up, but I don't want to have to do that again. I mean, it's like, I did at the last minute, I went ahead and got a tag because I thought, well, we'll get him a bear. And then, it was black and brown area. So I just wanted a black bear. I wasn't preference on size or anything. I just wanted to smoke one to get some breakfast sausage. Yeah. That's all I wanted. I'm about out of breakfast sausage. I really want some breakfast sausage. And, we saw that big brown bear, and I was like, oh, we'll get this one for Chad, and then I'll get that black bear.
Yeah, one of the two that were up there. Huh?
Oh, well, the one the next day we went back in there, and he was rifle distance.
Oh, okay.
But Chad, man, he's like, nope. I'm going to get him with a bow. And I was like,
because you already punched
the bear.
your
Yes, because the bear didn't give us a chance. And so anyway, we went back to the kill site the next day, and we sat on the moose from a distance thinking another bear would come in on it.
Did you carve out the backstrap?
I'll just admit, man, I did not take an ounce of meat off this bear.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the moose.
Oh, the moose. That was sour pickings there.
No good.
No, but no meat off the bear, man. It didn't stink. It was interesting. He wasn't gross.
Yeah.
But
didn't do it this time.
I don't know, man. There's just something about that big tank thing that just didn't look good and edible. And I know it's hit and miss. You're not really supposed to eat brown bears. I know they can kind of be nasty. Maybe an interior grizzly in the brooks or something, I would definitely carve a backstrap and harvest some meat off of something like that. But a 15 bear that's probably been in some fish somewhere down the line, not to mention not on a sour, rotten moose carcass.
Yeah.
They are what they eat, right?
Yeah.
So
was the bag that he was using the straight jacket?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yep. It was the straight jacket. You got it.
All right.
Good call, man. Thank you for throwing that in there. Shout out to Kafaru. The straight jacket.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like a butterfly
Yeah.
style.
And it's hollow in the middle.
Go holler at Kevin at Barney's. He'll set you up if you want one of those.
Yeah. Here's the picture.
There's a new upgrade to that. Maybe the straight jacket is the new version, but there's another one that's like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me see that one. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Great pack. He made sure to get a shout out to because there was a little pack. There's
this
like some
here,
shop talk going on.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just a different color.
Yeah. That one's not open.
Similar to it. Yeah, but it opens up.
Yeah.
And it's got a sack in the middle.
that folds open too.
Yep, and then it's got like a nice little like pouch accessory on the bottom. So that's
Damn,
essentially
look at that.
that's essentially
Holy Jesus.
Yeah.
That's essentially how he packed the bear in there, was like that. And then the bear head flopped down, and then we like lashed the bear head like
cool.
tight.
That's cool.
So it was like sticking way off of him, so it was kind of awkward and loose and weird. But yeah, it's funny, before the hunt, he had got involved in a chat with Kafaru and some guys. They were having some shop talk and like, what's the best pack out there? And, Chad threw out the straight jacket. And then
It's a good name.
Then we go out and get a bear, and he packed this thing, and we got it all on video, him packing it and lashing it down and then carrying it. It was like, here you go, proof in the pudding, boys. Like,
Nice.
put a whole bear in that thing.
Nice.
So
Well, welcome to Alaska Wild Project,
let's
episode
do it.
66. We're going to take a quick shout out to some of the sponsors, one of them which is Barney's, if you want to get that straight jacket Kafaru pack or any of the packs that he has. And we'll be right back to talk with Tristan with Create 38.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan-proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier Gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney's Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights, or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
Arbor Digital, based in Anchorage, Alaska, is your go-to wealth management company. Arbor Digital is at the forefront of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. If you've been looking to invest your hard-earned money or just want to learn more about crypto, blockchain technology, or digital investments, give their website, acminc.com, a visit. What's great about Arbor is they provide a low-cost, transparent, research-based investment strategy for digital assets and traditional investments as well. acminc.com is your first step in putting your money to work. Let one of Arbor's investment professionals walk you through your options for financial growth and security. Start investing for the future today at acminc.com. Arbor Digital, your Alaskan digital asset company.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com. And then,
Hit it.
There you go.
Kristen,
There it
hit
is.
Yeah.
Redeem
All
yourself.
right, we're back. We're back.
He's official.
All right. Well, we have Tristan here from Create 38. First of all, thanks for coming in.
And thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for
Absolutely,
listening to the
Yeah.
45-minute bear
This
story.
is
there.
my first podcast, so
Really?
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
So this is
Awesome,
we
dude.
did kind of a mock one a while back, but it never got aired, so I really consider this the first one.
Okay.
All right.
This is
Well, feel
official.
special then. Right.
As long as you air it.
Nothing like practice.
Yeah, well, no, it's going to air. It's going to air for sure. I want to jump first into, before we get into the bars, I want to get into this rad picture on your Instagram.
Yeah, which
the
one?
wingsuit one that we're looking at here.
You're the dude in the middle.
I'm the guy in the middle. Nick Savage Sack is the guy on top, and Matt Gertis is out on the bottom.
You guys
So-
are insane.
Matt Gertis is his company Squirrel. They build the suits.
Oh, okay,
They build base gear, wingsuits, skydive canopies, all that stuff.
Sick, dude.
Is he out of here, out of Alaska? Or?
No, he's out of Seattle. So
Okay.
that's
Seattle.
that's Kapowsin, Skydive Kapowsin, which is the Red Bull Air Force guys, Andy Farrington
Okay.
and Luke Aikens. I don't know if you've heard of the parachute jump they did without a parachute. That's Luke Aikens. Or the plane swap that they just did.
Okay.
That's their drop zone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you get linked
Beautiful
up doing
day,
that?
too.
Man, so I started out skiing and kind of had a skiing background. Been in Valdez heli skiing for years, on snow machines, hiking. And it was around the time when McConaughey was doing all of his ski-based stuff. And I was like, I got to do that.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't just put a parachute on and do a ski base, or at least it's not the smartest thing. So there's a criteria. So I had to go through this whole thing just to do like the one thing that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I ended up meeting a guy that's a teammate now for Create 38, Todd Davis, and met him heli skiing in the northern end of the Chugach. And he's just like, man, you got to get into skydiving. And I was like, well, it is kind of a precursor to doing a ski base jump. So yeah, just started the next following year, started doing my training and working toward that goal.
So what does that entail? Like, obviously, you got to make some jumps with some people, and then
Typically you do, but not always. So you can actually start your AFF, which is your accelerated freefall program, and you don't have to do a tandem. You can go straight into having an instructor on both sides of you, and
that's
land
just
yourself. Yeah.
Really?
So
is there a certain amount of jumps before you get the first license or whatever certificate?
there is. So what you have 25 jumps before you have your A license, which gives you your license to jump with other people.
Okay.
And then from there you just, practice.
Is it always from the same height?
In an aircraft?
Yeah.
Nope, it depends. So a lot of different companies, like if you're in small planes like Cessnas or smaller airplanes like 206s, they typically only go to 10,000 feet because it takes so long to get to altitude.
Okay.
Versus if you're at a major drop zone, if you're in a King Air, man, you get to altitude in 6 minutes,
Okay.
7 minutes,
Yeah.
and you get it to 14,000.
Oh wow.
If you're in a caravan, like with it's the turbo caravan, you get to altitude, I think it's like 12, 13 minutes, 14,000 feet.
How many seconds of free fall per 1,000 feet is it?
I don't exactly know, but I guess it depends on if you're in a wingsuit or if you're slick.
Oh, yeah.
If you're jumping slick, you got about 60 seconds.
Okay.
If you're in a wingsuit, depending on how you're flying your wingsuit, you can fly wingsuits head down, you can carve them, or you can just go for distance and length. So it depends on, how you want to fly to what you get.
Right.
Slick, that means just jumping with the parachute.
Yeah, slick means like your body's slick. Like you have no drag.
Okay, gotcha.
Wingsuit has so much drag, so much wind surface or surface area for wind that just slows you down unless you just go head down, keep your wings back, and like a diver.
So how long's your longest dive in
a
terms
wingsuit?
of time? Yeah.
I jumped out in Hawaii quite a few years ago at like 21,000 feet. And we flew almost from Waimea Bay all the way back to the other side of Dillingham. So I don't know how many miles that is, but I think it was probably about a 4-minute flight.
Okay.
Oh man.
Dang. Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Does it feel longer than that? Does it feel like
it does when you're just going? When you're playing around with your friends and you're dive bombing and doing different stuff, it goes by really quick. You're looking at each other, you're doing stuff. But if you're just going for a distance flight and you're maxed out, your body position is maxed out for glide, you're a lot more. It's a different body position. You're not, so you definitely feel it's like it's a workout.
Do you have like an altimeter or something that's like, beeping and it's like, okay, now pull or whatever?
We do. So it depends on, everyone has a different criteria of how they like to fly or a different program. Some people have audibles in their helmet. Some of them have chest mounts or wrist mount. And some have both.
They don't notify you.
What did you call that?
An altimeter?
Altimeter?
Or altimeter?
Altimeter, right?
I don't like to correct people though.
I think you're right.
I could be wrong, and I could
it is altimeter.
I could be going the wrong thing after all these years.
It's ALTI meter.
But
luckily for me, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, so
but
always learning.
But a lot of us, even though we have the right equipment on to back up, a lot of times it's just sight. If a lot of people have done it enough.
Oh, really?
You have your visuals. A lot of us that are on like our teammates and stuff, we're cross do multi-sports, so we're base jumpers as well. So we're used to judging altitudes way lower than our normal pull altitude. So, so we have a good reference on. I mean, a lot of skydivers have a good reference, but so a lot of times we're not like, oh, we're at this altitude. We know where we're at the drop zone. We've flown back. We know the references on the size of the trees, the size of the drop zone, and you're just like, yep, it's time, start breaking off, and then you do, when I say break off, so we might be flying in a group of 6 or maybe 14, 14 wingsuits all flying around. And at typically around 4,000 feet, people start, breaking off, doing their own thing. And there's always a few last people standing. And it's typically the same people. You have the people that pull high, you have the people that pull low, or where they should.
Like to run it a little tight.
Everyone pulls where they should.
There you go. Good answer.
Oh, I didn't notice that you could fly upside down. The guy on the bottom there is upside down.
Yeah, that's Matt Gertis. And I mean, these guys are phenomenal wingsuiters. I'm still a novice. These guys fly. I mean, I don't even know how many jumps they do a year, but you should see. It's an art just to watch these guys from up high. I say up high, like 15, 20 feet, and carve around each other, and just their spatial awareness of where they are, and how they fly together. And these guys fly together all the time, so there's a lot of intuitive flying between these guys. Where, I mean, like I said, you look at kind of like the bear thing. You're looking in the eyes, and you know where you're at. Yeah, and they're just flying together.
Yep. That's cool.
So,
on those wingsuits, do you wear like a special suit under the suit? It seems like you guys all have on like the same kind of shoe or boot or something on there.
Nope, that's just that is part of the wingsuit. I should have brought one.
So the shoe, the boot is part of it.
That booty is part of the wingsuit.
Okay.
So you slip your feet into it and you zip it down over it.
Now, when you guys,
that's why I was saying you were talking about straight jackets and the packs. I was like, those things are like a straight jacket.
Yeah,
tight.
Yeah, I bet. Now, when you guys jump multiple people, are they jumping out continuously one after another, or some at the same time, and then you meet
one after the other?
Here?
So we all get, when we're getting out of the plane, we're all standing up, shoulder to shoulder. Guy gives a nod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We all start dropping out. We fly into one another.
Yeah.
Get in formation.
So the last guy can catch up.
Yep. So even though the plane's flying forward and dropping out, you slow the first person that jumps out will keep his speed appropriately for the last diver.
Oh, okay.
And then he can actually slow himself down.
Yeah, there's a variance in how we position our bodies. Gives us more or less drag.
Gotcha.
Oh, like where you're more massed out.
Yes.
More drag versus like.
Yep.
Okay.
So you change body position for how you want to fly to your speed.
Yeah. Okay.
Arms sweat back, gives you less surface area. You sink out more, you go into a dive. Kind of like a fighter jet. Those old, what was it? Is it the F4 that had the wings that would sweep back? Oh, yeah. And then you could sweep them forward. So when they're diving and going super fast, fighting after one another, they're sweat back.
Yeah.
When they need more glide.
Yep.
Arms forward.
Stick them out.
Yep.
Catch more air.
Yep. Exactly. And you're turning that downward momentum into forward momentum. So when you go into a dive or you're flying fast, then you change body position, you start coming out of it. Now you change all of that into forward momentum. And you can get your stall speed. There's stall speeds. It's like all types of. It's like you're an aircraft using your body as that foil.
Wow. And you're like just always learning with every drop. You said these guys are like.
Especially me, because I live in Alaska, and so I only fly so often.
Gotcha. You don't get nearly as many drops as these guys do.
And starting a business and doing that's taken me out of the game over the past several years. Yeah. So these guys are just years above me. They're just going.
Is there baffling in there? Is that like air that gets in there?
Yep, exactly. Okay. So it's like a ram air canopy, but it's a ram air wingsuit.
Okay.
So you have these inlets. Here.
You can stand up with that mic thing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see, where are the inlets on this? Go to a different picture on the Instagram. Let's go down. There's one.
Sorry, guys.
It happens.
Right here.
This one? The one above it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a video.
Oh, that's the video. Well,
Could probably just. Oh man!
Oh, that's crazy.
Holy shit! You fall fast.
I guess go to a different one. Back
Okay.
up here. Okay.
Try that one there.
This one?
Yep. Go to that one. So there's one.
Oh, there's
one.
like
There's one. There's one. So
Oh, okay.
there's
That's where
four.
the air's coming in.
Yep. And that's the same position on the back as well. So,
Okay.
So when you're jumping off of a cliff,
Oh, I see the baffle like on the guy on the right. I see that little like opening. Yeah, to the left, right there.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep. Okay.
And so now when you jump out of an airplane, you're already going 140 miles an hour. So as soon as you jump out, you're pressurized right away. The cliff is different. A cliff takes about 300 feet. So you jump out,
Really
and,
flying.
and you jump out, and you have, as long as you're not getting any updraft from the cliff, any thermals,
Okay.
you jump off, and for 300 feet, you have kind of a little bit of a dead airspace. You know, you have momentum from trajectory from launching forward and off, so you're not just like falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have your initial push off, set your body position, set your angle, and as air starts coming in and you start dropping at that angle of attack, you fill up, you start feeling that pressurization. Within 3 seconds, you're pretty much fully inflated. And within 4 seconds, you're fully pressurized, ready to fly. So
And then you kind of pull up.
you don't necessarily pull up unless that's what you're trying to do. But then you just start flying whatever your line is.
Oh, okay.
So some people are flying terrain really close, so they will jump into their angle, into their line right away. Where some lines are more floaty to where maybe they have to get to their line. So they're jumping off of a cliff, getting pressurized, turning right. They have a little bit of a time to fly wherever they want. Then they're dropping into their line and flying it accordingly. Like, do you guys ski or snowboard?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like that. You may have to traverse over to a certain line.
Okay.
And then once you're there,
Yeah.
then you're like game on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very similar.
Yeah, that 3-dimensional thing though that's happening on this flying is like foreign to me. You know, like how would you know that you can make it to here to there, and how close you could get to that line above the ridge or whatever?
It's experience,
In
but
open air.
essentially,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like in aircraft pilots probably understand this way better than I do even. But it's where you see the horizon line, you can see whether you're dropping or it's rising. You know, and so you can see
Like the bubble.
what you have to play with, and you
yeah.
also know if you're flying your suit on power, like full power, or like you're maxed out, meaning you have no power and you have no lift. You're maxing out your glide ratio. That's the most dangerous place to be.
Because you could stall out.
Not because you could stall out, because you have no room to pull up.
Oh, okay.
It's like driving max power, and if something gets in your way, you can't pull up.
Yeah, yeah.
The way that we pull out of things is by flying as fast and steep as you can at your line, and then you have plenty of range. When you just lift up, you're like,
Yeah.
but if you're already maxed out
Yeah.
and something comes at you,
You got nothing
You have
left.
nowhere to go.
now you have left or right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All you can do is bank. Like, you can't
Yeah.
actually, like, lift.
Yep. And anytime you bank, what do? You drop altitude as well, because
Sure.
surface area.
Yep. And
know?
and then you're are you dropping faster now when you bank? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Because now the drag's less
Yeah,
going
so then
down,
you're-
so now you're knifing.
And now it's not so dramatic.
Sure.
But yes,
But yeah, you're
you know, you have to be aware of it. You know, and I don't at this point in my career, I don't fly terrain very close like some of the guys you see.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that super dirty
like belly on the tree
like
tips,
I'm definitely way more safe the way that I fly. I'm not current enough to where I'm going to be
You're like hundreds of feet.
yeah, I'd say 100,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah. And how fast?
Which 100 foot above terrain,
It's close.
it's not today. Where people are flying today, I mean, it's not. That's far. I mean,
Oh, really?
yeah.
What are we talking like the extreme?
I mean, people are several feet off the ground.
What?
I'm talking about like,
And they're able
flying
still to be
terrain.
able to pull up
oh yeah,
to set the parachute
Yeah,
and land.
so-
So they're like down, like on a slope. So they're like,
and of course that's on consistent terrain
yeah.
where they're flying it steep.
Yep.
They know the line.
Yep. There's no trees or obstructions or anything.
There
just
might be trees and obstructions, but it can
they
be
know where they
it could
are
be
at.
trenches, or it could
Okay.
be a nice even slope angle. But people are just dialed. They're doing this a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's
How big is the
that's
community,
right.
you think?
for wingsuit base or for just wingsuits or skydiving or base jumping.
Wingsuit, like
for wingsuit base jumping. Man, just gaining more and more. I mean, a couple of years ago, it was probably at like 1,500, 2,000.
is it mostly in the United States, or you're seeing this happen in
mainly
all of
Europe?
Mainly Europe. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Europe is.
Is there a certain country that's like leading the
as far
suit game?
not the suit game, as far as terrain where people fly the most, I would say it's mainly in like the Swiss Lauterbrunnen Valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like the big attraction with all the lift access and the way to get to the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. And the Swiss Alps is made for it. That's
Yeah.
that terrain.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
To-
Real vertical.
Steep.
Lots of steep cliffs to jump from.
Yeah.
Where in Alaska, not so much. You have Chugach crud. You know what I mean? It's like everything just like crumbles. And it's
Yeah.
like there's not a lot of
Yeah.
sheer cliff.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And then it comes down into tree line. So it's not like you have a
Yeah.
long distance. Like, I mean, what do our.
and we have big approaches. Like we have, it's like big approach, and then like we have like 2,000 foot of like
yeah.
steep stuff.
Yeah.
But in Europe, I mean, it's
It's steep all the way up.
it's older mountain ranges. And,
Yes. Yes.
And that attributes to it. And then a lot of our stuff in Alaska that does have the type of terrain that we would want to fly or has cliffs, it's in areas that are really super hard to get to.
Yeah.
You have to helicopter in.
And
to
some
get
of them are in
dropped.
national parks, and you can't
Can't even
bring
do
helicopters into them. So
right.
so accessing them in Alaska is extremely difficult. On top of the fact that you just don't have a large community of people to go out and do these things with. And if someone's coming up here to do it with you, I mean, like you guys know from all the hunting you do, what's the weather window here
Yeah.
to get good weather?
Yeah.
Now, hunting's a little bit different for weather, but when you're talking about like jumping off of a cliff and the weather to get to exit points, the wind,
Well, it has to be the
Different-
perfect.
different-
The stars have to align.
It
Like,
does.
always.
or
Yeah.
or it has to be within your skill level.
Oh,
Okay.
You know,
Gotcha.
Your
Which has to be
because-
pretty like. I'm thinking it has to be pretty elite level to mess around in our mountains with all the variables.
with all those variables in getting to the terrain, because
Yeah.
it's not like in Europe.
Sorry,
Well,
guys.
and in Europe, don't get me wrong, these guys they're hiking,
Yeah, it's not
and
easy.
jumping, and they're taking lift access. It depends on they're doing both. But here in Alaska, it would strictly be just
Yeah.
you're hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so to have that endurance to hike for however many hours it's going to take you, 5 to 7 hours to
Yeah.
get to, you're talking about for some of these flights, like in Europe, they're like some of them are 7,000 foot relief. So you have 7,000 foot to play with.
Yeah.
So if you're hiking 8,000 foot,
Yeah.
it's a long day.
Yeah, it's all day in the sound.
It's a long day. So then having your mental acuity on top of that to still and to down climb anything in case it's unjumpable.
Right.
If weather comes in,
Yeah.
your
The wind
days of wash
changes.
and you're just
You gotta
hiking
hike back
out.
down.
Right.
now you have to make sure you could get down everything you climbed up.
Yeah.
And you're maybe another 7 hour day. I mean, back down versus if you jump off
10
3 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you do
Or
when
it's,
you do
it's
a-
less than that actually. It's more like in a wingsuit at 7,000. You're looking at maybe like a minute and a half.
How
Really?
fast are you going there?
all day hike.
Forward momentum, you're going. I mean, it depends again how you want to fly it.
Yeah.
If you're flying it steep or if you're maxing out,
Yeah.
but you're talking about like 140 forward speed.
Okay.
Just about.
Yeah.
Ripping.
When you're flying, do you need a lot of strength to maneuver, or is it pretty easy?
These days with the suits that Matt's making and Mike Steen, they're way more comfortable to fly.
Okay.
It's,
What are their suits called again?
It's like laying in a mattress, and if you
Oh,
you lay into it, lay your chest into it, and fly more relaxed.
Okay.
10 years ago, it was a lot more like being like a different body position where you were more flying the suit versus now. I mean, you're still flying it, but now they're just way more intuitive.
Yeah.
It's called Squirrel. Squirrel.ws is their website.
squirrel suits. Yep.
I would think that the first time you go to do it with the squirrel suit, it's got to be nerve wracking.
It is. And I mean, so nowadays they're recommending almost all drop zones, you can't get in a wingsuit until you have at least 200 jumps.
Oh my goodness.
And so that's kind of like the entry level, like, get your 200 jumps under your belt, then you can start doing it. But it's such a different feeling that, like, because you have so much fabric on you, if you have a malfunction, that's why they want you to have 200 jumps. They want you to have jumped enough to where you've gone through some malfunctions.
Gotcha.
You've gone through some bad situations to where,
had to figure things out.
Yeah, if I get line twist, this is what I do. If I, if I have to have a cutaway, this is what I do. If just going through these scenarios, because when you do it and you have zippers in your arms and things where getting to your parachute is behind your wing.
Yeah.
And if you have malfunctions, like I said, you're literally in a straitjacket is what it feels like. So you can't reach your lines right away. So you have to figure things out.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So it is a little nerve-wracking when you know what can go wrong.
Yeah.
And you're training for it, but yet you have never had it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still your first time.
Yeah. Like when a bear charges you, you don't know how you're going to react till it happens.
Yep.
You know?
Not a lot of time to think about it. Just happens.
When it happens, that's when you really know what you're made of. Are you going to?
Yeah.
What's your
Made of something,
reaction?
Brandon. You're still here, bud.
Still here, boys.
A lot of that is like,
But he did say that he may not go on one himself. He will back up again.
I don't think I'm going to solo bear hunt anymore. I can tell you that for sure.
Well, you were
done.
going with a bow hunter, which you were already determined you were going to be close. There was already
It was
that.
like the mindset
if something
was there.
happened,
that helped.
Yeah.
The preemptive mindset and preparation for the mental side, and like what you guys are doing. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, this is all physical and repetitive and like training and all this, but like it's all in your head. This whole thing, right? Like,
what do you mean?
When you jump, like it's all like you're just processing information. Like,
once you're flying.
Once you're flying, yeah. Like it's like your body and mind and your muscle memory, and when you've done enough jumps, it's kind of like all the same, right? But in general, like it's all like your mind is like processing whatever your variables are, the drifts, the wind, you know what I mean? It's like you're constantly like your computer, right?
Yeah, there's a point to where it becomes more natural to you. And of course, and that's by doing it out of an airplane.
200 is a lot.
yeah.
That's 200 jumps out of an airplane without a wingsuit.
Yeah. And then you can.
And then you can even get
once
started.
you put a wingsuit on, you have an instructor, you go through, your ground school of like, hey, this is how, you go through your malfunctions, what you're going to do, your flight plan, all of these things. And once you make a few jumps and you start flying, that's when the training really starts. It's like it's like piecing these things together, starting to fly with maybe more than just your instructor, maybe two people, maybe, adding these components together. And, that's not even going into the field and doing base jumps with that.
Yeah.
Then you're also when you start, I mean, again, not everyone follows the same regimen of how they, what they follow to go from skydiving to base jumping to wingsuit base or whatever. But typically someone won't do a base jump with a wingsuit, their first base jump. They will then start over as a base jumper, jumping off of a bridge, taking it slow, building up to big cliffs, and once they know how to fly their body position in the base environment, using a tracking suit, which is just you're not jumping slick. You have some surface area to where you can get better glide ratio, 1 to 2, 1 to 1, and then you start maybe thinking about a wingsuit later.
Is that something that a personal track that you're doing, or is there like some commission or someone that's like, you can't do it till you do 200 jumps, or is that
so the drop zone typically, so you have to manifest your jumps at the window. They're like, who are you when you go to jump there, you give them your logbook, they get your information.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that people haven't done it in under 200 jumps. For sure we have.
That's the recommended.
But again, on paper, that's what every drop zone has its own standard.
Gotcha.
Some people, and I guess it's harder for me to think what exactly is going on today. I started this 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So when I started, you were still there was a little bit of wiggle room to where 200 was the criteria. But if you were switched on, you're a multi-sport guy or girl, someone knows that you're switched on, you've been in these types of environments before, you show that you know what you're doing with your regular skydives,
you get some cred.
with other things. You have the right instructor. He knows your mentality. People have done it before that.
Yeah.
You know, it was right on that cusp of what was recommended and kind of, but now I'm pretty sure it's all like 200 across the board.
Do you think that's like based on like the drop zones insurance, or do you think that's like from like a regulatory kind of?
I think it's just to keep people out of it that aren't committed to being in the sport.
Gotcha.
You know, because you have people that watch these YouTube videos. They get in a wingsuit.
I
Like, that
want to
looks
do
fine
that.
when they do it. And it's just kind of like, well, how committed are you? Are you committed to do 200 jumps?
Yeah.
You know, like do it and then we'll talk. And it's like, maybe they have their first malfunction without a wingsuit, and they're like,
forget this.
fuck that. Like,
I want nothing to do with
like, I almost died. Yep.
Now the wingsuit, do you rent them or you got to buy your own? Is it the outfit that's like outfitting them once you get to that point?
So some of the drop zone, it's not the drop zones. Some of the guys that organize at drop zones, they'll have like Squirrel has a couple places where there's a guy or girl there that has rental suits for people when they have an instructor and they're doing their first jump courses.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
You know, it's not like you can just go rent one and like, hey,
Yeah.
here's my ID, give me one.
Yeah.
It's more like, all right, your instructor is this, that's him. Like, we're going to go through the first jump course and this is what you're going to be flying with me. He would never just give it to him and be like, teach yourself.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's not the type of rental.
Yeah.
You know,
If they're doing that, don't go.
don't go.
It's not like renting a paddleboard in Hawaii. Like,
No, you're not going to get a pack raft and be like, all right, send me down the river. No.
So the dudes that are real serious, or the people that are real serious and they're trying to get all those jumps in at the drop zone, can they take multiple jumps in a day?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, at Capalson, when we were jumping a few years ago, I think we were getting, when we were all serious about it, we were doing like 12 a day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just like one after the other.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
And do you pay like a fee for the day or per jump? Per jump. And what's that range?
Shit.
I think nowadays, it's right around like 27 to 32
Okay.
per jump.
2,700
No,
to
27 to $30.
Oh, it's like, whoa. Okay. That was my question. I was like, is it expensive? It's not that expensive then.
No, not per jump. I mean, it adds up. If you're doing, that can be, $350 a day.
Yeah.
If you're doing
So
That-
it's not a
okay.
day of heli skiing, but you're also hoping to do a lot of it for several days.
Okay, so you
Right.
can really, if you dedicated 2 weeks, you could get
Like
your
a
200.
vacation.
You can get your 200 in there and be wingsuiting by the end of June.
I mean, in theory, yes.
The weather's good.
But the
and
thing is
everything.
when you're a beginner, you're not skiing. You're not jumping in every condition. You're jumping. You're like if it's
Only
if
when
it's
it's
windy.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's
yeah.
windy, you're still
Yeah.
you're a newbie.
Yeah.
You don't want to be jumping
Safety
in
first.
certain conditions.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So you have a lot of different factors, which is another challenging thing here in Alaska. There's a skydive company out in Palmer, ASS, I think, Alaska Skydiving Center, or ASC, or is one of those two. But getting licensed here in Alaska because of weather days, and they're only open on weekends, makes it super challenging.
That's a nice
If-
schedule. We're only
yeah,
open on weekends.
you
and
know.
that's nice.
Well, yeah, because
They
it's
jump
not,
like 3
we don't-
times a year.
Yep, it is. It can take someone all summer, and also they're throwing tandems on that as well. So they're trying to. You make money. A company makes money doing tandems, not really single people. You think about it. They're charging $300 for a tandem for someone to come on and do it, versus $30 per jump ticket.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we call them tandem factories. You have tandem factories. Sometimes they'll squeeze you in.
Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of hard though.
Yeah.
So I guess typically someone that does want to go somewhere, you want to go somewhere where it's good weather. You want to go to like Arizona, California. certain
Gotcha.
areas
Yeah.
there.
It's consistently good.
But some of those areas too in the summertime have dirt devils, big swirly things. When you have heat waves, can't jump in those. You get thermals. They spin up.
Oh, sure.
It's horrible.
Throws you off.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Is there a time you got into some kind of crazy something?
which time?
Yeah.
I was wondering if
Tell
was
us
going to
about
ask
your
it. It
bear
wasn't going to
story
be me. Yeah.
I
question.
guess one that stands out, that
All of them?
something happened and you're like, I'm going to die.
The ground was staring you in the eyes.
No, I've never looked at the ground. Well, I guess once on a base jump when I jumped off of a building in Vegas. That was a story. We'll get to that one maybe in a minute. But the one that stands out most, I would say it's probably like my 5th wingsuit jump that I ever did. It was in Hawaii, and really cloudy day, super cloudy. So typically, typically you want to be able to see the ground when you jump out of the airplane.
Okay.
So you can see the drop zone.
Okay.
You know where you're flying.
Gotcha.
There was a lot of cloud coverage on this jump.
Okay.
You can see spots, you can see certain things, but it was a lot of cloud coverage. And we had a flight pattern, so we know that typically we know, all right, we're jumping out at a certain point, we're going to fly this pattern, so it'll get us back from A to B in about that 10,000 foot elevation.
Okay.
We jump out, we're flying toward the DZ where we need to go. Couldn't see the ground at all. Couldn't see my partner. The plan was that he was going to fly next to me. That wasn't the case. I didn't see him at all. My 5th wingsuit jump. He knows this, So I'm like, what the hell is he? Am I flying the wrong way?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Oh, yeah.
So I have these thoughts going in my head. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just flip around on my back, see where he's at. I've never even flown on my back before. Kind of like that picture you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I flip on my back, and he's right above me. And I was like, oh, sweet. Cool. We're going the right way.
Right there. Yeah.
So I'm like, everything's good. I go to flip back to my belly. But so when I flipped on my back, I went from flying steep to flying flat, almost at a stall out.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never flown on my back before. You
Yeah.
know? So when I go to flip back on my belly, I catch a wing, just, air, flips me, spins me, and I just start tomahawking, tumbling.
Dead spin.
Just,
Yeah.
for 5,000 feet.
Wow.
Finally I pop out through the clouds, and like throw my arms out, because I'd tried everything else that I knew of what to do, which wasn't a whole lot at the time because this was the first experience.
Yeah.
Couldn't really gain control again.
Nope. And, but I did eventually and popped out right underneath the clouds, straight as an arrow. Luckily, reached back, pulled, opened up. And I would say that was just my most memorable, like, oh shit moment when I was like, how do I get out of this mess? Like I said, literally, you feel like you're in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
And
kind of out of control there too.
Yeah, and I didn't plan on flying on my back. I'd never.
You'd never done it before, and you just decided to just turn on your back.
I decided to do it, but I didn't have any instruction on like if you're when you're transitioning from back to belly, you want to make sure you're steep angle so that you have that forward speed or all the little tricks that I know now. But at the
Arms
time,
at a certain position, and
just how to do it. There's a technique.
Figure it out on the fly, so to speak.
Like have you skiing backwards? Have you ever skied backwards? It's like it was
probably
just more
not
like,
easy.
It isn't, but it's way easier when you're thinking about what you're going to do instead of just finding yourself doing it and then being like, how do I turn back around? And so that was kind of like the most memorable in that sense. But I've definitely had a lot of different experiences that. Probably enough now to where I forget which ones to even talk about.
Yeah.
Kind of blur together.
Yeah. I think when you've had one or two, you remember the one or two or three.
Yeah.
But when you start having quite a few of them, you're like, I've had so many of those experiences, like none of them really stand out.
Yeah.
Right.
You actually have to start talking about a certain story that maybe triggers
Sparks
a similar
something.
moment. And then you're like, oh yeah, that happened to me.
Yeah.
Or something, or that reminds me of this story.
So that was your first like real oh shit moment. So that one seared in your mind.
Yeah.
So what do you do to get out of a tomahawk like that?
In that, so you look for the ground, like with your head, always kind of like you're kind of like tilting your head toward where you think the ground is, looking for it. Because if you're on your back, your body follows your head.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking for that. And then initially, you want to bring all your wings in, so you're not catching air, and then you want to put them back out.
Once you're pointing down.
Oh, okay. So close up and
So close up and restart.
Okay.
Did you figure that out in that situation, or?
I think I just got so dizzy and so tired that I was just like, You know, like almost when you give up and you relax and then you figure it out.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's kind of weird in skiing and a few other things. You realize you really have to relax in order to perform better.
Totally.
So sometimes, like going through that little bit of trauma for 5,000 feet, 6,000 feet, I got so tired that I just kind of relaxed enough to
find your way.
To find my way.
Out.
Yeah. Because I was so tense and trying to fight it. And when you're trying to fight being in a wingsuit or a straitjacket, tumbling.
Oh, it's got to be exhausting.
It's mentally fatiguing. You know, oh shit.
Yeah, like because the clock's ticking, right? Yeah.
I mean, and you're not so. I mean, it's definitely ticking. In my mind, I'm thinking, it's just that when you don't know when it's going to stop, you know, like you're like, none of this feels like it's going to change.
Yeah. It's just a free fall.
Yeah.
This might be a silly question, but when you're going and you're flying 120 miles an hour or whatever you said, 140, and you pull that strap to let the parachute come out, is that just like an initial pow, like shock?
Yeah, it's initial shock for sure. But
do you go from like 140 to like 40?
Nope. Well, so you slow yourself down before you pull your parachute.
Okay.
So you can flare up and stall yourself out essentially.
Okay,
get
gotcha.
close to stall speed and then even out, get good laminate airflow over the back of your wingsuit, and then throw out your parachute.
Okay.
So that helps.
Yeah.
That being said, we definitely have hard openings. You know, there's a lot of times, you know,
jolts you.
There can be really super soft openings, and then some that just shock. It's opening shock, just like whack.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, they can spin you up, spin your canopy and line twist. All types of different malfunctions.
Yeah.
So your wingsuit has so much surface area that when you open up, if your body position isn't dead on straight, wind can catch that and twist you. So the wind will push one side of your wingsuit. Let's say like one of your wings is collapsed, the other one's open. The wind's going to hit it and spin you in that direction. So if you're going 40 miles an hour, you're like, and all of a sudden you have 20 line twists and you're spun up and the back of your neck is pent down.
Gotcha.
And you can't even look up. You're like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm in a straitjacket and I can't use my head.
Where's my knife?
No, I know where it is, but how can I reach it?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Wow. What other crazy shit you do?
As far as sports wise, so I do, I get speed flying as well, speed riding and speed flying.
What's that mean?
That's what's on the box of our bars here. Like if you, right here, where you ski with a canopy.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's like a mini paraglider. It's like a Ferrari of paragliders. And
what?
Yeah, and so you can do barrel rolls and all types of fun stuff. You can ski all the lines that have cliffs and you wouldn't normally be able to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing that I really enjoy doing. I ski as well.
Yeah.
Machine.
I was kind of wondering, like backing up a little bit to Daniel's question, what kind of spurred your drive for doing this extreme ass shit? Like, what did you do something with? Did a buddy take you out? Did someone introduce you? Did something spark your interest to taking some extreme to like a next level? Like, where did it kind of like?
I think it was Shane McConaughey. You know, just seeing Shane ski off of a cliff.
It was the heli skiing. Is it kind of where it all?
It wasn't the heli skiing. Didn't do it. It was watching Shane McConaughey ski off of a cliff and throw out a parachute. Yeah. I was already at a certain level skiing to where
you were doing drops.
I was having fun with skiing.
Yeah.
Like I was at a certain level to where it was kind of second nature, so to speak. And so watching Shane do all of this stuff, I was just like, man.
Next level.
That's what I was like. I wanted, like, it wasn't, I guess to better answer your question, it wasn't like, oh, I want to do this next crazy shit. It was just more like, that would be like, I would love to ski off of a cliff.
Yeah.
I didn't think like, what's the next crazy shit that I can do?
Yeah.
Like,
I was just like,
extreme.
You see your buddy do it and you're like, man,
I was just like that would like, what would that feel like to just know that you're about to ski off of a 400-foot cliff? Yeah. Like I was like, like I want to not, because when you jump off of enough cliffs, you know what it feels like to land. You're like, this is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's going to be soft. You're like,
talk to my knee about that.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh man, I wouldn't have to worry about that. I have a parachute.
That's good for the knees, man. They should have had that back in the 90s.
Yeah. They did. A little parachute. But so that's kind of what got me thinking that way. And then in training for that, I never intended to get in a wingsuit. I never intended to speed fly. I ended up getting into all of it really, really soon. So I got out of a relationship, and we had started skydiving together. And that relationship it ended. I'd already done it. So I started skydiving, and I think I did my first base jump around, I think it was like 76 skydives. I went base jumping. And then I started flying wingsuits at like 86, my 86 jump. And then I started speed flying without skis in Hawaii right after that. And so I started, and then I broke up with that girlfriend. So then I just really started doing all of them. Or actually, I broke up with her before I started doing wingsuits.
Oh, she was holding you back, bro.
She was definitely holding me back. No, my mindset was holding me back. But so just at that point, I was just like, I'm doing all of it. So I look back at it like I should have stayed with one discipline and just stuck to it and been really disciplined, got really good at it. But instead, I was just like, well,
doing it all.
I had the opportunity because of the people I was around. I wasn't searching for it. But after skydiving in the wingsuit, they're like, oh, we're going up to Makapu and we're going to speed fly. Have you ever done that? And I was like, nope. And JC was like, well, he's like, let's have dinner and tell me about your background. Cause this guy was on Red Bull Air Force, and he was like, let's just, let's hear about your background. So
feel you out.
Yeah. So went and talked to him and stuff. And he's like, all right, well, let's go kite the wing and stuff. And so we figured out, so we went there and I ended up doing my first flight. So then now I'm like, okay, now I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this. And so it was just because of the people that I was around that got me into all of it. But it wasn't my goal. My goal was just to do a ski base jump.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, liking all these other disciplines because they're so closely connected to where if you do this, then, not everyone at the drop zone flies wingsuits. It's a smaller percentage of the people at the drop zone that do that. And then it's a smaller percentage of the people that do speed flying as well. But after skydiving, people are like, oh, well, now that's closed. Now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go for a flight, or we're going to go do this. And so you find yourself doing these other disciplines,
It's almost seasonal.
Which one?
Like you said, you're going to do the flight, and then like that's closed, and then so now you're going to go to the cliffs or whatever.
Yeah, where does things close or why?
Weather.
No, can you rephrase that so I understand?
Okay, you said like, so this activity's closed, so you're gonna move to that. So, like, is there seasonality to it?
No, like for the day. For like
gotcha.
So the drop zone, if nobody's jumping, then
they pull the planes down.
They pull the plug. If there's not enough people to load the plane, or they don't have tandems,
or to make it worth the fuel, fuel cost and everything.
Exactly, there has to be so many people to fill the plane.
Gotcha.
And so
to make it worth it.
Yeah.
So that's what you meant by closed.
That's what I mean by closed.
And we'll just go over and do this other extreme ass shit.
Yeah, right.
my tank is not full. Let's get up there and do this.
Well, no, but the thing is too is like in Hawaii where I learned a lot of these sports. A lot of people are just there to work, so they're working tandems or they're working flying camera for tandems or things along those lines, and they've been working all day. You're like, it sounds weird to be like, oh, skydiving's work. But when they're done with it, now they want to go do something for themselves. Right. So they go to the cliffs because the wind's the right direction and they're speed riding, but the wind is so strong that they're ridge soaring on these small wings. The wind is blowing actually, 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour. So on these small wings,
a good gust.
It is.
Yeah.
And so with these small wings, you can actually get lift. It's called ridge soaring, and you scratch the ridge, and you just go back and forth, and you catch, and you're up there. Like my first flight, my second flight was, my first flight was only like 30 seconds. It was a sled ride. The next day we went, and it was like, we were up there an hour and a half. My second flight, cool. It was ridiculous. Wow. I was like, what the fuck?
Damn.
You know, I mean, my first like 5 turns back and forth, I'm all, oh, what the hell? You know, I'm used to a skydive canopy, which you're just going down. You're not, you know, and now I'm going up, depending on
flying.
Soaring.
Yeah.
Soaring. And so, and like the first 4 goes back and forth, I was just super
terrified.
Yeah, terrified, rigid, stiff. And then once I relaxed,
trying to enjoy yourself, but not really.
Man, I don't know if I was trying to just
survive.
I was trying to just make sure I didn't do a bad decision, do something I shouldn't, you know? And so, but then, you get a little more comfortable after a few passes and you're like, oh, wow, this is pretty amazing. Like I said, fun. I found myself doing these things that I never intended to do just because of the community and the people around that.
The influences.
The influence.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let's take one more quick break and we're going to get into Create 38. The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies. And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Eating unhealthy?
You're used to eating unhealthy, you were saying?
Yeah, if you're used to eating, not necessarily even unhealthy, but if you're
Bring that up here.
not even necessarily if you're used to eating unhealthy, but if your diet, if you're not eating for specific nutritional value, your taste buds have they're accustomed to a different flavor profile, you know? And so, so I forgot where I was going with that, but,
we're talking about the flavoring versus nutrition.
Oh yeah. So essentially, when you start getting accustomed to this type of food bar, it's a no-brainer. I don't even think about, what's the flavor? It's like, this tastes like power, like food, like energy. Like this tastes like what it should taste like.
Yeah.
You know, you're not like, this tastes like the palate. It makes me want to eat more. It's like, which I've noticed. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that when you eat things that aren't very calorically dense, you tend to want to eat more of them, almost like a bag of potato chips. It's like you don't want to stop.
It's very empty.
Cheesy dibbles.
It's very empty.
It's like I think subconsciously your body knows you're not getting anything. Eat more.
Like popcorn.
Like popcorn.
I just was crushing popcorn
But if I eat one of these, like it's not even that it's that much, but you're like, oh wow, I'm satiated. Like I don't feel like I need to keep eating anything. It's not like I want to quit eating this and go get a bag of chips or something else. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been actually. So we had these this weekend, and Chad left a small pack of a variety with me, and I had 3. So I had one Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I left them on my workbench in my garage, and I was just making sure I pluck one and then jump in the truck and eat it on the way to work, which is a very, very short commute for me. Can crush the bar, and I was curious to see how long, because I've been fasting. I've been fasting for months, and it's not working, as you guys can see. For me. Maybe I'm not doing it right. I'm not sure.
Are you doing the intermittent?
No, it's just hard. Just, I'm like, coffee, work till 2, eat, and then, finish work and then go home and have dinner at like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
well, that is intermittent fasting. You eat in a window.
I know, but it's...
The key is not smoke and then eat a bagel at midnight.
What? So half a jar of peanut butter and pretzels is not part of the process?
The key to intermittent fasting is that you try keto first and get your body fat adapted. So now your body can either run keto or you can run off carbs.
And last time I did it, it worked when I did that. So back to the bar, I was curious just to see how long one of these bars would tide me over. Mm-hmm. So I actually was paying attention to that every single day this week. So I'd eat this bar at like 7:45 on my way to work, and I'd start feeling hungry at about 1:30. And I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, man. And I'm not like sitting my ass at the desk all day. I have my little stretches of time where I'm in front of my computer, but I walk around, I move, I'm all over the place. I'm very active at work.
Yep.
I'm not lifting cinder blocks. I'm not shoveling dirt. I'm not working hard.
But you're busy.
I'm busy. I'm moving and grooving and doing my thing. And more than anything, and like, I'm not, like, we're here promoting Create 38 because this is a badass product. But I'm being real when I say mental focus was at a premium for me the last 3 days during my mornings. Like, I couldn't be more focused, and I've not been eating in the mornings.
Yep.
I've just been drinking coffee and running on E and then going into my day, and you adapt to that. But having a little something in you to digest and then get in your bloodstream and then your sugars and everything are balancing out. Like, I've been dialed these last couple of mornings.
It makes sense. When you look at what the bar is designed to do and what we supplement into the bar, there's a reason why we call it infusion fuel. Because we add things into the recipe so that you're getting more vitamins and minerals, along with 14 different strains of probiotics and honeybee products, royal jelly, propolis, and raw unadulterated honey. So all of these things, especially on an empty stomach, you're tuning your body up every morning before you get going. Instead of putting something in it that's hard to digest, you're putting something into your body that's raw. It has live enzymatic activity in it, easy to digest.
Yeah, zero upset stomach.
None. Has all the right vitamins and minerals to optimize Krebs cycle or Krebs efficiency, which is the breakdown from glucose into ATP or adenosine triphosphate. So with all these components into it, it's like, man, why?
Is it pretty much the opposite of the Jimmy Dean croissant?
It is.
Those are tasty, but they make you fall asleep in a coma.
But you know what? If you eat one of these bars before that and then you eat that, you won't fall asleep and have a coma because you're already jump started and you're going. So, but the thing is after you eat one of these bars, then you may not want to eat that.
No, you don't need it. I drink my 2 or 3, even sometimes 4 cups of coffee in the morning, and then I haven't been eating in breakfast, and I'm like, I need something in the mornings. I've decided, like, that is like perfect. I'm not a breakfast guy. I don't eat a lot of food in the morning, but that was just the right something in there that, like, I ate it and forgot.
Yep.
I didn't feel digestion. It didn't give me gas. It didn't make me burp. It didn't, like,
or you don't even feel full.
It instantly forgot about it, and then it just seems like the body really, really, really absorbs it in a very efficient way.
It does. And also a lot of things that I don't think that we're taught is, like, in order for your body to absorb all the things that you're eating or taking in, you need to chew. Your saliva typically breaks down your food. Digestive enzymes let you know, hey, there's something here. So if people are taking vitamins and stuff on an empty stomach and they're not chewing and they're not doing this, there's a reason why they say, like, chew your smoothies.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard that or not.
No.
But yeah, it's a thing because if you just drink something down, you're not taking it
Breaking
sublingually.
it down in any way. Yeah.
It's like
Going straight into the stomach.
Yeah, it's like it hasn't even activated anything in your brain to let you know that you've done anything.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why the Jimmy Dean is so weird, because it's like 3 bites. Carb.
It's damn good.
The thing is, we're not like
Swallow it.
dogs. Dogs are different. Dogs don't need to. They just use their teeth to tear the meat off of and
then
swallow
eat
it.
it
They don't actually have
whole.
to sublingually break it down, or their saliva doesn't activate or do that. From what I understand,
I've seen many dogs pull something off of a countertop and like
It's
one
just
gulp.
swallow.
Just constantly have slobber.
Yeah,
You know, looking at the ingredients, it reminded me of my college days and biochemistry. And you see this ATP addition here, the Create 38 ATP blend. And what I remembered about ATP was that was the ultimate energy for your body in terms of like how on a muscular cell level, how you convert your food and water into energy in your muscles.
Yep, it's what your muscles use for contraction.
Right.
At the cellular level, that's where you get your energy.
So can you nerd out a little bit and tell us a little bit more about that ATP blend and how'd you came up with it? And this is the first time I've ever seen it in a food.
In a food product. Yeah, so what this does is, so it nourishes the ATP, the cycle, the Krebs cycle, or the citrus cycle. So there's a lot of vitamins and minerals in going through the process of the citrus cycle that you have to plug into to get optimization of ATP production. It uses like so much vitamin B1, so much vitamin B2, and it goes through this whole process called the Krebs cycle. So what this bar does is it nourishes that process so you get maximum ATP production. And so it nourishes it with the right amount.
Right.
So it's almost like a fuel additive to get more gas mileage in your car.
Yeah.
There we
You're
go.
running more
that,
efficient.
that clicked for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you guys are speaking Japanese.
Yes.
I'm trying to
Dude, you
watch
got
lips
it.
talking. I was like, bam, click. Fuel additive. I can definitely relate with that.
Onions
Okay.
on the hot dog.
You're saying we're gonna
There we go.
we're gonna be able to go
Maximize
further,
flavor.
deeper, steeper.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious because
Correct.
I do a lot of intermittent fasting, especially my work. Like, I'm not trying to eat a hot dog every day, and I don't get out of work. My first break is like 2:30. So I'm thinking if I can, and I like to eat around 1 o'clock. If I can have one of these at 1 o'clock, it's going to extend my before I have like,
Yep.
Taco King.
I would say 100%. Like, I mean, when you said it lasts you about 3 to 4 hours, is what it sounds like? That's about what I've said. And that seems to be the very consistent thing. Dr. Joe Carson, which we use his honeybee products, and he helps with certain consulting and talking about, different aspects with the honeybee products and how to utilize them. He ran the Iditarod, I think it was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And this was before we had our new formula that we're dealing with now that you see in front of us. We had it up until last month or 2 months ago, everything was handmade.
Oh, wow.
I was still hand making things, getting things out there. Just basically, I'd already tested the market. I knew that there was value that we could add to the market with the product. It's just but as being a one man show, getting to this process, So, but getting back to Dr. Joe Carson, is he had the original bar that didn't have honeybee products in it. It just had the vitamin and mineral formula or the ATP formula into it, and it was a 3 ounce bar, which Natural Pantry still carries that, but they will be carrying this one here hopefully this week. But he noticed on the Iditarod, he would eat a bar every 3 to 4 hours. That was his regimen. And I forget, I think he was eating like 6 bars a day.
Wow.
While doing the Iditarod. And that's what fueled him.
And that was it.
I mean,
Is he
I
adding
wouldn't
like a dinner or something at the
I'm
end?
sure
of that?
he was eating other things, but that was his on the
go.
go when he was on the sled going.
Yeah.
he
Needing fuel.
would already have it out of the package and he'd grab it and have it in his chest pocket so it wasn't frozen solid. That being said, these bars do not, for being 20 below, they still stay relatively soft.
Yeah, I did notice that it wasn't like super it's dense with a lot of stuff in there, but it's not hard.
Yeah, it's not like a hockey
very-
puck. It's not no,
It's
and
like
that's part of the design as well, is having something that's easy to eat without having to wash down with 20 ounces of water.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not chalky or
Exactly.
it's like a You ever eat like one of those like kind of cheap prepackaged brownies? You know, you have like a
It
homemade
has
brownie.
happened. I don't like to admit to that. But
No,
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, of
yeah,
course,
same
of
here.
course.
Come on, come
Of
on.
course, yes.
But it's
Never.
very
I've
similar
never
to
had
that texture.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, these things sat in our packs in the sun for like hours, and then crack those things open. Oh man, they go down smooth
Yeah.
in the sun.
No,
they were
they do.
just like so soft. I was like,
Oh, yummy.
damn, and the flavors like really spark up in them.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, I just drove. So we also, you saw it outside the Crate 38 Adventure Van.
Oh yeah,
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I saw.
Oh, you
that's
guys got to look at the inside before we go home tonight.
Okay.
Dude, that thing is fucking pimp, dude.
It is. But I would
Like
say
for such a small little package,
there's a lot of, kind of like the bars, there's a lot in it.
there's a lot going on, man. Like that thing is
We
just
keep the
like,
theme the same. You
all
know?
right, all right.
But when I was in Vegas and I had
Packing a punch.
but
Show name.
but the heat in Vegas, the story you're saying about them being in your pack for hours at
yeah,
a time.
yeah.
In Vegas, I mean, it's the first time I actually got to try the bar in warm weather
Oh,
because
like warm weather. Yeah.
and it does. It's warm. It tastes it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like it just came out of the oven almost. It's just like it
Exactly
intensifies
right.
the flavors.
Yep.
And then, of course, I had to put them in the refrigerator in the van because I wanted to make sure that I didn't know what was going to happen to them.
Yeah,
so I would have
fresh.
so I would have a couple of them just out of the refrigerator, totally different flavor profile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes like 3 seconds before you can even taste it. You're like chewing on it and then like, wait, hold on. I feel, there we go. And then it starts, going through that process. But even though they're cold, they're still easy to eat.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, versus if I thought about other brands, which I won't mention,
Sure.
but if I think about eating those out of refrigeration or cold weather,
Oh, hockey puck.
hockey puck.
Yeah.
Yep. I know
You know?
exactly what
It's
you're
like,
thinking.
am I gonna
and
chip?
What
Am I
bar
gonna?
you're thinking?
Am I gonna
It's
chip a
like-
tooth?
Yep.
Gotcha.
You know?
Have you
Or
ever
was
had
my
to bust
jaw
one out
gonna
mid
handle
wingsuit flight?
No, but I've been,
You know, I'm kind of hungry up here.
I've been meaning to do some things, but none of
Be
the
good
teammates-
advertising.
Every time I want to do something, none of the other teammates want to do it. I feel like the black sheep or something. I'm like, hey, why don't we like pass around a bar like in the sky and then try to eat something? Like,
Nah, we're just gonna
we don't want to do that.
I'm kind of like worried about my angle, the angle, and
And then you go see Red Bull, and those guys are flying. They'll like open up a can and like try to fly with them. Like, I want to do something cool like that. And oh my god, they're like, nah, we don't want to do that. We'll just wait till we're on the ground.
That's funny.
Right.
You know?
Go ahead, Jack.
Well, I was just going to ask a little bit more about like the foundation, like how it came
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Great
and
question.
You
That's
know,
what I wanna
like,
know, too.
do you have like a group of dudes that are passionate or people that are passionate about it, and then how it like kind of progressed to where it is?
The history,
Like of what part of the company or the way that I market it? Because
The-
there's kind of two separate. They definitely go together. But which one do we want to start at?
The
here?
vision to
The vision to
getting
it?
to where we are today.
To
Let's
the
see.
pimped out van.
Man, to the pimped out. I don't know.
Keep the marketing
started with the
separate,
Subarus.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you want well, I guess I mean the kind of conceptualization of having or building a product or a brand started at the drop zone. You know, I just remember being around other sponsored athletes, and everyone was always so not so focused, but there was a focus of, well, how can I be a Red Bull athlete, or how can I be this, or like everyone idolizes certain brands,
Right.
even though they don't even use the product. But they just want to be like the cool kid.
Right, right.
Yep.
They want
You know?
free rides up.
Yeah, they want their lifestyle.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, totally.
They want their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's excellent branding.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's the point of branding.
It is.
Yep.
And so I started thinking, well, I wanted to be a cool kid, but I didn't want to drink that stuff.
Yeah.
Or I didn't want to do that. So I was like, well, what can I design that fits within what I value that I think I could bring value to other people and what they need.
Right.
In a healthy way, like sustainable. Like how can we feed our mind, our body in something that does it with those values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that we want, that we still want to be a part of, because when I think of like, what's the best way to say it? Healthy products, you kind of miss out on like, do I want to be a part of that? It's like, it looks like granola, or it looks like, it doesn't look that cool.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like, you got, like, did you ever see the Eddie Murphy thing where he's talking about the burger and he's like, my mom would get out this burger. You don't need McDonald's, and she makes this tiny burger. You know, you kind of feel like that. Like, no one wants the home cooked burger that looks uncool. They want the McDonald's.
Yeah, with the cool wrapper.
But which one's better for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really worked on, my vision was designing something that was something that you could make at home that would be just as healthy as that, but yet look like the cool kid brand.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. That's what I came to design.
Yeah.
And this is, I hate to say that I've been working on this for 8 years, but it's been a long process. Putting this together, and
Art takes time.
it takes a lot more time than I thought.
Yeah.
Sure.
Every step of the way has been a lot larger process than I guess that I was ready for.
Yeah.
I thought I could design a wrapper, put a food product in it that I wanted, and like I'd be off and going.
Everybody would buy it.
Yeah.
What
and
when you're going about that, and you got your idea, and you have some creativity, that you're always like pulling from other inspiration or resources. What are some of those that kind of impacted you?
Can you say that another way so I can
how that the sled dog dude, what was his name? The musher, the doctor?
Yeah, Dr. Joe Carson.
Yeah, Dr. Joe Carson. Like, that was probably someone who maybe inspired you in one way.
Yep.
Or
with the honeybee products inside of that, like total inspiration of like what honeybees do. Like I don't know if you guys are familiar with what honeybees do.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
We do.
Oh, we got a bee
Mike
guy here.
Radford.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. Not just what they do, but the products that they produce and the value that they add to the universe.
Yeah.
Or to Earth, or
right. Yeah.
And so learning that from him, which he's a 4th generation beekeeper, is incredible, because not all honey's the same.
Nope. You're right.
Like
You're right.
like there's so many nanoparticulates that are found in honey that I had no idea. Like people, he was just telling me this today. When you're around airports and you have honeybees and hives, there's so much fuel that's in the air that gets dropped, that's on layers of snow that gets absorbed into the honey from the nectar and the nanoparticulates. I'm not saying that little amount's horrible for you. I'm just saying that if you don't, like certain beekeepers, if they're not very cognizant of where they put their hives, then they're getting pollution from the area.
Right.
And when you have countries like China or different places that just mass produce stuff, not all honey's the same.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a lot of manipulation within the honey industry, I guess, from what I'm told.
Right. And
I'm not the expert in honey, but from how that's why when you have real unadulterated meaning nothing done to it,
truly raw.
Truly raw. It hasn't been mixed. Nothing's added. They haven't been feeding their bees sugar water, where you have a sugar water run.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, there's a lot that goes into it. They can deconstruct honey to take out all the nanoparticulates from a certain region to where it's almost like a clear honey, and then mix that to another type of honey that has those particulates from that area, so that it seems like it's from that area. And now they have, it's like, how does Manuka honey have 3 times the amount of production to sell than they actually produce?
Right.
How does that happen? Well, something is going on. I don't know what, but something, but if you measure it, it doesn't have, particulates from other areas. Right. So it's kind of like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But so there's a lot of manipulation with cut and people doing stuff. So having a honey source, so like you said, the inspiration from someone like Dr. Joe Carson for that part of the product, or the inspiration from the ATP formula and understanding, being a biochemist, of what he did to design stuff for the Krebs cycle and Krebs efficiency. So I took different components and kind of blended them together. I mean, the initial thing was I had licensed a ATP product in a capsule formula.
Oh, you asked me a question. Did you have the capsules? I'm like, yes. I didn't.
Yep. So I initially licensed that, and then I learned a lot about just those components of what's going on with that, and I started running out of that formula because the manufacturer sent me all the product, and they forgot to put spacers in between the labels. So when shipping, when I got them, everything was smudged.
What?
So I had a whole shipment of 1,500 bottles that were just like, you couldn't even sell it.
Yeah,
And
it
so
just looked like a mushed up bottle.
yeah. And so I forget how many I had. I had a couple cases of the product while they were fixing that problem. It took them almost a year to fix.
That's
like
way
I said,
too long.
Way too long. But again, that's part of the stumbling blocks. So I was like, well, how can I stretch my product out?
Yeah.
And I came up with, well, why don't I put it into a food product?
Yeah.
I was like, I can stretch out now 120 capsules per bottle to 120 bars.
Yeah.
And I can still market my brand without having a dead point.
Yeah.
Without being stalled out. I just transitioned while this was going on. So then that got me into the understanding, well, like we were saying, chewing your smoothie. It's like, well, you're actually going to absorb it, maximum absorption, if you put it in something when you're chewing.
Right.
You know, so it got me to thinking, you know, all the problems that all the challenges I've had have allowed me to look at this from a different standpoint, to where I've learned more about what we need instead of just what I wanted.
Right.
You know? And
So from a product standpoint.
Exactly. Yeah. So then when I'm out, so that's kind of like been a little bit of that progression into, you know, going from a capsule into a food and doing it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. You can like run into like a series of like fortunate mistakes, or like these weird premonitions, or like, you know, running into like this doctor or whoever, these other passionate people that can help you increase your product, or like progress your product to a place that you didn't imagine it going, or a new direction. And all that is, while you're doing it, it's a series of surprises, but then in the end, it's typically like, oh, this is where we're supposed to be.
Exactly. And I think what helps that process, if you're not focused on like being the victim role, like this didn't go my way, like what's going on, you know, instead of being like, okay, well, that's happening now, what can I do to move forward? Instead of being stuck in the mindset of like, this always happens to me, or why does this happen to me, or like, what am I going to do now? You're just being like, oh, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep moving somewhere, and like,
totally.
It's not over just because that happened. It's like, what can I fill my time with? You know, I got so many cases left. How can I stretch this?
Well,
and still be still be congruent with like the direction of what I want to be,
your
and
principles,
of the brand, the integrity of the brand.
Totally.
You know.
Well, when I think about like consumption of the nutrition and the product in a pill form versus food, I know there's like a lot of folks that have like phobias of like pills.
Yep. Some people just don't.
Like they don't take aspirin or Tylenol. They'd like rather suffer with a sore ankle or a headache.
Yeah, they don't like the stigma of taking something. There's something attached to like taking
pill
something.
popping or whatever you want. They like think that.
Yeah. And maybe there's a reason. Maybe someone in their family had some issues.
Yeah, and so eating is like way more natural.
It is, and like I said, you get more absorption through that process. That's what
people love eating. Yeah, you know, Americans, we love to eat.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I want to ask about the taco bar and the Italian pizza.
Ooh, man.
As I was looking through your thing, I was like, "This, you got some crazy flavors."
So that flavor.
Where did I see that?
It's up.
There's one.
Yep. So those are the handmade bars. Those are the
they're like in a clear package or something.
They are. They have a zip seal bag on them. So they're actually in 3 slices. So.
Oh, damn.
So
a lot more calories in that one then, huh?
Yeah, those are 420 calories per bar.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. So you can break them down a little bit. Because these are 250, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these are 1.8 ounce versus those are 3 ounce.
Okay.
Oh,
you know, but the taco bar and the pizza bar, so that's our original bar, and it's vegan. So there's no honeybee products in it. There's no honey. It's
vegan, or honey's not vegan?
Nope.
Okay, because it comes from an animal.
Exactly.
That's right.
Shit,
I didn't think
I
about
didn't
that.
think anything of that either.
Yep. Or it comes from an insect, but that is still part of what vegans are.
Yeah.
I mean, I say hardcore vegan, but a vegan's a vegan.
Yeah.
It's either you're not truly vegan, or you're vegan.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but
That's
we use agave nectar in those, and
okay.
and those bars, I realized, I mean, I'm always just kind of like trying different stuff, but I realized with the people that like those two flavors are typically more of your earthier, more individuals that are trying to think of the better word to put a label on people. It's not coming to me at the moment, but people that are just more into like home foods,
The granola
home meals.
people?
Granola, that's a good, better term for it. Yeah. And, hippie type granola people like those more than
Just say Girdwood.
Girdwood people. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you're trying to be PC, but look, there's like
Well,
an
I just don't-
individual that is going to
People
be
that don't
more-
like the birthday cake flavors.
correct.
You
There
know,
you go.
those
There you go.
type is
Yep.
the best way to put
Yep.
it.
The anti-sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And typically vegans, people that
Yeah.
don't eat meat, you know, and so I've had people eat those that are like, oh wow, like, you know, because they're gluten free and because they taste like pizza. I've had people in those communities be like, wow, I haven't had pizza in 10 years and this is awesome. You know,
awesome.
and then,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that do eat those things are like, I'm not so sure about that one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Not really.
Yeah,
pizza.
that one I was
Yeah.
like, my
Cauliflower
eyebrow went up.
what?
I was like, whoa, oh man, I really want to try that though.
But I tell you what, when you're out in the field and you want a different flavor and different palates, you know, you appreciate a lot more
Yeah.
when you're out in the field versus when you're in town
Yeah.
and you can go get a slice of pizza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, on the mountain is 6,000 feet. That's like a piece of coast pizza.
Yes.
like that thing is just going down.
Oh, yeah,
I brought these guys
Big
like a bacon cookie, and they were like, we did like a taste test and I was like, hey, what's in this? And man, we need a bar with some bacon in it.
Bacon bar.
That's what
Oh,
I
the
want.
bacon
Bacon,
bar.
or a
A
cup
bacon
of cola or something. Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
man.
Good idea.
Damn.
There you go. There you go.
Bacon
So
in
Jacked
there.
up bar.
But does that answer your question with those flavors?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So where are you at now as far as distribution and your goals that you have for your company? Are you near? Are you still expanding? Are you looking for more distribution? Like,
Yes,
where do you
I
feel
mean-
you're at?
Well, so we just got these bars mass produced. Like, this is our first run.
Okay.
I kind of call it our pilot run. You know, it's somewhere along 16,000 bars, which sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But when you start putting it into 12 bar boxes and
Yeah.
12 box cases, it's not as many as you think.
What does it
Totally.
look like? The
You
whole
know.
wall right there?
You said
No,
16,000?
Yep. It
Yeah.
looks like
Two pallets?
It looks like 4 pallets
Yeah, okay.
with 25 boxes on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, which
Yeah.
isn't that much.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is the first initial run that I've done, and I'm still working on perfecting. Like, I mean, I'm always looking like, oh man, like that needs to be changed just a little here.
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, I'm glad that there's a couple adjustments that I still need to make before I just full go charging, but I'm utilizing this run to get larger accounts.
All right.
So this is the run to get to, you know, to go to Three Bears and to get to go to larger individuals that will get REI or Costco. I'm not quite sure if it's a Costco type brand, but I guess we'll have to see.
Costco's
You
been
know,
going
I'm not
more
so
and more
sure about
local.
that, man.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean they have in the beer section. I mean, it's a Double Shovels there, King Street, Midnight Sun. I mean, they got tons of it. They're going more that way over the last.
Well, I
couple
did talk
years.
to Bob Ripley, that managed the one on Diamond. I believe.
yeah.
And so we're working in those areas.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I also want to make sure that I can fulfill those amounts
Yes.
before I just get so gung ho
Especially
happy that
Costco.
we got them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, no,
'Cause
I
they're
got
like, we need more.
Yeah, I got to make
Yeah.
sure that I can live up to my end of the deal
Yeah.
before I fully commit to those things. Because if you get a contract and you can't fulfill it,
Yeah.
then
It's not good.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. That looks bad on.
You get dropped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
it's
you
hard
know,
to come back from that.
Exactly. So I'd rather take it slower and make sure that we can fulfill the clients that we onboard.
Yeah.
You know, we're you know, obviously we're always looking for someone, you know, brand ambassadors that really believe in the product,
Yeah.
that want to get out there and help market and push that.
Sure.
You know, that's kind of like, you know, the awareness.
Gotcha.
That's the biggest thing right now that I find my challenge is the awareness of the product. Because what is in the bar? Like, it's hard. Like, how do you market what's in this bar?
Yeah.
How do you market the value of that within one sentence where you can keep someone's attention?
Right.
Yeah,
You know what? It's
especially for those that aren't really sure. Like, you're gonna have folks that know what's in there, and they're gonna be pumped, and they're gonna go after it. But then you're gonna have the guy that's like, I want that stuff, but like give me something like the honey. That to me is like probably the biggest product that people can grasp onto because they can, they know that there's nutritional value in that.
They understand
that.
That.
Tastes good. They understand that.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah,
And
that's probably like the linchpin of it.
So maybe that focusing on that,
Yeah.
the honeybee products,
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
So where are you manufacturing?
Yeah, go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
Down in California.
In California.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're
good
going to do
question.
all West Coast, or?
Well, so like I said, I drove the van from California up through Vegas, spent some time in Vegas, and I really think that's a great market area for this product. There's a lot of people moving into Vegas, a lot of big sports teams, a lot of people from California that have sold their homes that have a lot of money for extra stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting 4 times the home
Right.
for the same price
Yeah.
or for way even cheaper.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great market and a lot of people in California do have that health conscious mindset a lot more than the original people in Vegas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or the tourists in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great market. We have the opportunity to go into one of the larger gyms there that has 7 locations.
Okay.
And I am currently just working on getting all that criteria of what they need and pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Nice.
We have to do demos there. So we have to get booths set up, and I live in Alaska. So,
Yeah.
and I just left there. So it's kind of
Yeah.
a little bit of
Logistical
making it
challenge.
happen.
Yeah.
Well, I think the angle with the super intense adventure, like wingsuit stuff, like being connected to that, and as I look at a lot of your marketing and advertising and stuff, like you're using a lot of those pictures, and obviously you sponsored some wingsuits and some stuff like that. Like that's super creative, and like what a good angle.
Well, and really,
Yeah.
it's really. I mean, I guess I did kind of sponsor it, but it's also just all my friends.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an organic marketing tool
Yeah.
of what
they
we're
support
doing.
you.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and I support them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all like, when this thing, as it gets going, I mean, we all want to live this lifestyle and have fun.
yeah,
Absolutely,
You know,
man.
and so that's, like the synergy and the partnerships that you have with the people that believe in you, that you believe in, it's been really great to be a part of having these guys help support.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how we started marketing it, was because it's what I did.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, skydivers are not the target here of the people buying the product.
No.
You know, but it's just the low hanging
so many
fruit
of
of
those
marketing
guys.
it to what I was doing.
Yep.
So one of the challenges is like, how do we take that and lend it over? Because I spoke to this girl in Vegas at this coffee store last week, and there were 2 women that just saw the bars in my pack, and they said something about, oh, look, he has bars in his pack. And I was like, so I just used that as an opener to be like, hey, ladies, like, gave them a couple bars, like, oh, well, we were just talking about you. I was like, oh, great. So I got their opinions on it. And one of them is a marathon runner.
Perfect.
And the other one is Pilates and yoga. And so the information that I got was from the marathon runner. She looks at infusion fuel, and she's like, I know exactly what it is. I'm stoked. The yoga and the Pilates girl was like, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's like, this looks like Red Bull, and it doesn't look healthy for you. But then I look at it and I read, wow, probiotics, raw jelly, propolis, raw honey. And she's like, these are all the ingredients that I want.
yeah.
But the package turned her off
Right.
as far as not thinking. It didn't turn her off, but it didn't key
like
her in.
flashing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That that's what was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. First
so-
impression wasn't quite.
Yes. And so, but that's kind of what I want. You know what I mean? Because it's like the goal of it was to like, how can we get these ski bums and skydivers to eat healthier than they are?
Yeah.
The yoga
definitely.
people are already eating healthy,
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah.
how can we get something better for the people that really need it?
Yeah.
You know? And so it although when I hear those other things about like, oh man, I'm missing out on being able to like really get this group of people to understand what's in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You almost have to rebrand the beat one, like with like more of like an earthly
earthy,
tone,
right?
Yeah.
and then keep the other ones like vibrant and
Well, I do notice like some brands they'll have like an off brand of like
Yeah.
2 different sectors, but I don't know. I'll have to brainstorm on this. It's a challenge.
yeah. No,
I think the brand pops. That's my first impression of it. When Chad busted the bars out, he's like, you want a bar? And I mean, like, he threw it to me. You're right. Kind of looked like a Red Bull can.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about these and I'm looking and I'm like, all right, man, it's got like a nice flashy look. And on the wingsuits, those look fucking cool. Like those things are like the way you angled them, and you could see the Create 38 on the side. Like now seeing them on those, and I can appreciate the branding even more now. They see them on the wingsuits, but I thought they were cool. They popped. They're flashy. It's like something you want to look at the packaging, flip it over. And it was really cool about what Chad did. He remembered my like allergy issues. Like instantly, so he went to give me a bar and he's like, hold on a second. Are you allergic to any of this stuff? And I'm like, you remember all that shit?
Yeah, that's cool.
So he's like, I don't see hemp seeds. So I'm like, oh man, you remember, dude.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, because at first I was just going to crack it open. I'm like, oh yeah, man. Like when you're eating these like.
Especially when you're in the field.
Natural
you need
bars.
to make sure.
Oh yeah, dude. And I'm like, God, I'm glad he said that. So I flip it over and look and I'm like, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. So I went for that beat one right out of the gate. I told you earlier before the recording, man.
Yep.
Just like right into the earth.
Yeah. It is. It's a very earthy bar.
That sucker is like, man, that is. But it definitely, it had a instant, not that it made the way me feel, just the flavor was like, okay, this is a good, clean.
Yep. Which is, it's interesting that you got that, because that's some of the feedback that I get is the first bite or the first time they try it, people realize that it's minimally processed. They realize it's something that, they realize that it's not a Red Bull, and they're like, wow, this is actually something. No.
It's real food.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not chocolate chip. It's not coconut.
Yep. And
cream pie. It's like.
Exactly. There's no birthday
some
cake.
Real shit in there.
No sprinkles.
And like someone said that ate it the other day. They're like, you know what? Don't focus on the way it tastes, but focus on the way it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And when you think about like the texture when you're eating something, it's like, how does this make me feel? And it's like, how is it made with care? Is it made with something you can tell that people care about what you're eating?
Yep.
Or is it, when you look at something, does it look like they just made a bunch of them to sell them to you?
Yeah.
Does it taste like that? Because a lot of the bars that I see on the market, they're the same texture. It's like it's a different recipe, but it's the same texture.
That's a good point. It is that.
And so it's like, okay, well, all right.
Yeah.
Tell me about the name Create 38.
Oh yeah, great question. Man.
It took a while to get names. To a skier, professional skier, Mike Wilson, he was staying with me in part of these processes of 8 years over a project that we did actually at the northern end of the Chugach, which is the shot on the bar. We speed flew Marcus Baker, the tallest peak in the northern end of the Chugach.
Isn't that in the sound?
Marcus Baker?
No.
Yeah, it goes into the sound.
It goes into the sound.
Yeah, the glacier comes off and goes into the sound.
I think Liska mentioned Marcus Baker.
I don't think it was Liska. I think it was
Shiny?
No, photographer. He's a Red Bull guy too.
Yes.
Actually, you probably know him. My goodness, man.
He's selling Chugach powder guides.
Yeah, he's selling Chugach powder guide.
Owen.
Yeah.
Yep.
There it is.
And so, but I'm sure of course he's been in there. So
that's one of his pictures up to us.
Yeah, I see him at Steam Dot, because Steam Dot's carrying our bars also.
Right on.
But he has his artwork there right now. But Marcus Baker goes into the sound on one side, and it goes into the Matanuska over on the highway on the other.
There we go.
And but it's 13,000 and some change. But that's where that picture is from, is the speed riding project that we did there. It was fucking incredible. But Create 38. So Mike was in town. We'd been brainstorming names for a long time, and Create kind of came up, and then after understanding the Krebs cycle and ATP production, there's 38 moles of ATP that are produced in the Krebs cycle. So it takes one molecule of glucose to produce 38 ATP, and that's what your body should optimally do. But because of not having the correct nutrients in our foods, your Krebs cycle, most people's Krebs cycle is not running as efficiently to get the maximum amount per glucose that you're putting in. So Create 38 is you're creating the maximum amount of ATP production per Krebs cycle. So Create 38.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
and it rhymes.
Yeah. And it just kind of is one of those things that
Yeah,
not
nailed
being
it.
not being too. I guess it's like all of my dogs. I've never had a dog and like given it a name right away. Almost all of my dogs have not had a name for 3 weeks or a month. It's just like Little. Hey, Little. You know, they've all been Little until something else comes up.
Oh,
you know,
like
and
an organic like
it's just
thing
like
that happened or
yeah,
they
it's like
did.
it'd be kind of hard to name something before you even know it.
Right.
You know,
It's like a kid.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like
Like, what are
when
you gonna name it? Like, I don't know. We don't even know if it's
Actually,
gonna
there's
be.
people that do that. They'll wait till they see the kid and then they'll name the kid.
Yeah.
They wait until then. Yeah.
That's how I do my dogs, and that's how the product came available. It was, the name for the brand. It was just, well, I don't know, and I didn't force it, but I wrote down a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, I dig it, man.
And then
it's
I added
great.
the infusion fuel later, which, for some people, I don't, like I said, we're talking about the yoga versus the marathon runner. The marathon runner got it right away. The other didn't. Some people like infusion fuel. I'm glad I don't listen to people, because if I was easily influenced by people, no telling what it would be called. But,
Yeah.
but because
Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean fuel. No, but because the infusion fuel part, some people don't get it, and they're like, it doesn't sound like a food product. It sounds like something you put in your car. It's like, well, if you looked at the food that you ate as fuel more often, you might be in better condition.
Oh, man.
You might be in better shape.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
But a lot of people eat for flavor and not for what it's designed for.
Yeah, the nutritional
Yeah.
value.
Yeah, when you go back to the core values of like animal nature, animals eat for fuel.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't care about what anything tastes like. I mean, do they like pick and prefer things that are good when the time's right? Sure. But they eat for fuel,
Exactly.
and energy and calories and as a resource.
For survival.
Right. And us as humans, we're like, ooh, go get a double cheeseburger. That fucker tastes really
Yeah,
good.
they're like,
it's
humans,
like-
we think like, what do we want? Not what do
what
we
do we
need?
need?
Yeah.
And
You know?
evolutionarily, that was right,
Yeah.
But we also didn't have a grocery store and a refrigerator.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy
You have to
to
change our ways.
do this.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I like it. It's very like kind of getting back to basics, and it's pretty amazing if you just put away like caring about flavor and what you actually craved and wanted, and you just went on a full like what's the highest octane? Is it 85 grade or 89 grade or whatever that
Exactly.
you want to put in there?
And what does your engine prefer? Like, not and some people can burn off of multiple fuel sources. Some people can't. They have allergies, or they have
Sure.
whatever
That's
it is.
a great point. Yep.
And so people really have to identify like what works for me, and then but while still sticking within that. But some people are garbage compactors. They can just
Eat whatever.
crush whatever.
Man.
My brother.
It's not.
Yeah.
His brother.
Yes. Man.
So where can people find this? And other than create38.com, obviously you can order whatever
Yep.
you want there. Where in Alaska can people stop by and pick up a bar or one of the bottles with the pills?
Yep. So initially there were a lot more locations that were carrying it, and then I kind of backed off, being that we had everything handmade until now. So now I'm currently going back to the existing retailers that were carrying it. So Steam Dot's going to be picking it back up. There's 2 Southside Chevrons. There's Chevron on O'Malley that's carrying it right now currently, and then the one by the McDonald's, kind of funny.
McChevron.
But, yeah, over off of
Yeah, that's my neighborhood, Chevron.
Okay,
yeah.
Mark Sternquist and those guys are over there, great people.
Yep.
And
He's the owner, right?
Yep, he's the
Yeah.
owner. And then Natural Pantry, of course.
Nice.
Steam Dots, the Chevrons, for now.
Okay,
Those are
but you're about to
locations
hit
here in
the
town.
streets.
I'm about to hit the streets. The Once in a Blue Mooses,
Okay.
they were carrying them in the initial ones. Actually, in the Great Northern Harvest, the cannabis company, they're going to be carrying them, I believe.
Yeah.
I talked
right on.
I talked to the CEO the other day, and they're like, "Oh, we have Munchie Bowls for stuff." And I was like, man, I have a healthy one. What about this?
Yeah.
And so, it's really great to just get this product into stores that maybe to where people that don't normally eat healthy have a different option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said,
absolutely.
we can market it a different way, have it look like it's something that's not so
Yeah.
good for you, but then it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd take a box. I got the coffee shop there in the old Federal Building right by Blue Moose and all that stuff.
Oh,
Get
awesome.
tourists and people all the
Okay.
time.
Oh, dude, there you
can
go.
sell that easy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We'll pick one of your favorite flavors, make a decision on which one you think would sell best there, and
Yeah.
we'll get it.
Yeah. We'll put it in there. And we're
Awesome.
selling steamed out too. So right up the gate.
Exactly. It's good when you work with similar individuals and things like, oh, you carry that product too, steamed out, oh, and this. So people kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Right on. Any other questions, guys?
Man, no, I just kind of was entrenched in the whole like fuel talk thing and how I need to adopt that a little bit more in my life.
Have you thought about the subscribe and save option where you can like sign up for boxes sent directly to you?
100%. And I'm just working through all the challenges that come with these things. So as a startup, like the website that I currently have right now, it's kind of like one of those strap-on websites where as you need something, you add this. So, and you don't realize that you spend 3 hours trying to get it to do something and then realize, well, you need to upgrade.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't say it's not working because you haven't upgraded. It just wastes 3 hours of your time and then lets you know once you sit on the phone.
Squarespace? Squarespace?
No,
Who you use?
Zoho.
Okay. Yeah.
Zoho.
Yeah.
And so the auto ship is another plugin.
Yeah.
So right now our website, create38.com, it just has the old style handmade bars right now. I'm currently working on, like I said, I just got into town driving up from Vegas on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm currently working on revamping the website, getting the new product on there, giving it a few different options. We're not selling the bars separately, like individually. We're selling them in a box. Yeah. And so, but so if people are subscribing, they'll definitely get a discount once we get plugged into that equation, because our bars are, they retail for a lot more than your typical other brand. That's a cooked product that there's being mass produced, being that this is a raw product with added honeybee products that are unadulterated and well-kept bees and other vitamins and minerals. They're retailing. Some retailers are selling them for $4.25 to $4.99. So it's definitely a higher end product.
Right.
But it's a higher food. I mean, like when you look at what you're getting in it, if you were to buy these ingredients separately, like the propolis or the royal jelly or the probiotics, you're getting half a day's dose for all of that.
Yeah.
And then you're getting a full dose of the vitamins and minerals. So if you were to buy all that separately, you're looking at $2 a day.
Yeah.
Without any food.
Yeah.
And then when you think about the food that you're getting into it, the ease of it to where you don't have to carry on bottles, capsules, any of these things. And you're also getting the synergetic effect of eating and chewing it. And getting that from it,
part of it.
Now all this, it's like, man, like it's a cheap way and a tasty way to get your tune up for the day.
Premium nutrition.
Damn good option.
Yeah, for sure.
And so
we should connect you with Kevin there at Barney's. Probably fit perfect right in there.
Oh, totally, man.
One of those guys.
What's the shelf life on a bar?
So on these, it's 1 year, and it's
wow,
and it's
that's really good.
It's a best buy. It's not honey gives a lot of shelf life stability for the product. So does the propolis. Propolis is antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and antimicrobial. So if there's any type of activity that may happen just from all the stuff that we put into it, it's going to kill it and feed off of it somewhat. So it's really a best buy date, because I don't know how long it's going to taste fresh. It's like we know after a year it will, but it will go further than that. We just don't know if it will actually taste as fresh. So I wanted to be conservative for that date and just make sure that we kept the flavor profile and the freshness of it versus trying to stretch it out. And as we learn more,
that's a very respectable time frame.
I figured if a year. I don't know. A friend of mine in Valdez yesterday. Oh, there's a place in Valdez. Rogue's Cafe is carrying him in Valdez.
Oh, cool.
But a friend that I was just discussing with over there, she was saying that if she looks on the back of a product and she sees a very long expiration date, that she doesn't want to eat it. She's like, wow, if it lasts that long, I don't want to eat it. Which I've never really thought of that, but it was a good point. And I think a year is long enough to be able to put a product on a shelf and sell it.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, I was just I asked that because I think about like I have like my little organized totes and storage areas that I have for my gear and equipment, and I have like a tote where I put my food. So everything such as my, Heather's Choice or my Mountain Houses, my Peak Fuels, my arrangement of things that I have.
Your go-to nutrition
my
packet.
go-to nutrition, like, stuff, which I will be adding Create 38 to. But I will buy or overbuy some products, and then now it's August 2021. Now I'm running into May and June 2022. I'm going to go on a backpacking trip. I'm like, is this like still something I can throw in my pack? And can I eat it? Yeah, of course I can eat it.
But especially depending on what it is. Like if it's a meat product versus something that goes rancid, it's like
like some jerky or something. It's like, it's probably not good. But like that's why I asked. I'm like, man, if I bought it in July and I'm going to go on a hike now in May the next year, can I trust I can throw it in my pack and it's still going to be good?
Yep, I would say
and
so.
And I oftentimes I'm like, then it'll go to like 2 years and I'm like looking at a bar. I'm like, the expiration date still says this. But I'm like, I don't know, man. And I chuck it, and it's like.
So I know in the handmade bars, I have bars that are 5 years old that I kept because there's the original packaging. I was like, kind of like as a novelty, and I've opened them up and I've eaten them.
Sure.
And they just taste stale.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with, there's nothing.
Still has all the nutritional value, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I mean, everything degrades somewhat, but but it just doesn't taste as fresh as the ones that come off the line.
Yeah.
But
of course.
But there was nothing growing in them. There was nothing bad about them. Right. It was just a Best Buy.
Yeah. Yep. Which is
you see a lot of companies going that way.
Best
Buy. Yep. That's good.
Yeah,
it's not like it's a perishable milk product where you're like, all right, like it's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right on. Why don't you close us out, Jackie?
We don't have anything else?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think so.
we're ripping and roaring.
There's one. I can say one last thing.
Yeah,
it's just
sure.
Is with the focus of the brand is like there's many different products that'll be coming out besides bars. Just to keep you guys kind of on the hook a little bit. I'm not going to say what they are, but you'll just have to stay tuned. There's a lot of really cool stuff.
Tell us after the podcast.
I'll tell you guys.
Yeah.
Because there's some really good stuff. It's key for athletes, people in the mountains, people that, the basis of this company is function. What do we need? Not what do we want? What do we need?
Yeah.
What does your body need when you're out there?
Yeah.
Not, I really want pizza. Or it's like, what do you need? You need, your muscles need this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool stuff that I have conceptualized and I have product made, but it's just not going to be released for a little bit until I know that I can make it in the amounts to really satisfy what the market needs.
Well, you got to keep some stuff in the bag,
Well, you guys get it. Like Chad's had it. I don't know if Chad's maybe Chad's not told you about it. I don't know. Chad was he was with the Rawganic guys.
Yep.
And they got it. This was a couple of years ago. They got one of the products.
Nice.
And they were asking him like, "What's up with this?" And yeah.
No, I mean the extent of that was like, hey, I'm trying out Tristan's bars for 30 days.
Yes.
Get him on the podcast, and then he's been routinely eating them every single day.
And he said his gut health is way better. He said his stomach is feeling amazing.
Yep.
I have my own story with how I feel about. I got him into that 30-day. I initially told him a 21-day challenge because when I was in Vegas, after eating the bars for 21 days. Now it's been longer than that, but I've always had a really hard time going to sleep at night and waking up in the morning. It's like when I'm moving, I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing.
Oh.
If I'm sleeping, I don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
If I'm awake, I don't want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so when I got the bars, I just started eating them. I was just so excited to have my own product professionally made. I was just eating the heck out of them.
Sure.
And about 10 days into it, I noticed, I don't even know if it happened a few days before that, but I noticed that I just started, even if I had some drinks, or I like worked out really hard or we were skydiving or whatever we were doing, I wake up around like 9:30, like no matter what. And usually I sleep later than that. And I wake up and I go back to sleep. I'm like, I'm not ready to get up. But I was going to bed earlier too. And I just noticed that I'm going to bed more consistently at a certain time, and I wake up without an alarm at a certain time. Without an alarm. I haven't used my alarm since.
Wow.
I wake up.
That's awesome.
And so I was telling Chad about this. I was like, hey, do you have I'm trying to find people that have similar challenges
Yeah.
to, just as a cross reference.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Chad has no problem waking up in the morning, apparently.
No.
That's not me. So...
He was about a 9:30 a.m. waker upper on the bear hunt.
I would too if I knew I was going to have to carry that thing. But he said
You ready
typically...
for coffee?
He said, you must wake up earlier than him.
I mean, I don't know that every day, but at least last weekend, that was the case.
But that was that. But so that's what
I was feeding him those ciders, though. So
that has something to do with it.
A little bit.
But that was my experience. So I asked him, hey, I didn't even ask him to try it. I just shared it with him. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try to find some people that have had that issue and see if it helps them. And he's like, well, I'll try it. And I was like, all right. So that's how he tried the 21-day challenge. And so he hasn't said that he noticed anything with his sleep because he typically has that, but he said that his gut health, his stomach, he said feels 100 times better.
I think what we'll do is we'll have a little video of Chad, and then when this episode comes out, this episode will come out not this coming Monday, but next, and we'll have him with his little deal. Yeah. Later on in the week.
Cool.
It's too bad we didn't have him here, being that he was on your bear hunt. Yeah. If we'd known that, it would have been great to have him on board.
I considered that too, because we only have the 4 mics in the studio. It's like,
oh yeah,
I know we'd love to get another set, because we oftentimes have like situations where we can have a 5th or 6th person.
Yep.
Who would actually really kind of set certain conversations off, depending on what subjects we're on. But
anytime if you guys want me to come back, I'd love to come back and
Tristan, we'd love to have you back anytime. You're welcome to come anytime. We've got our couch over there. Like we invite all our guests and friends.
I might need it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we got plenty of those.
I mean, just if you want to just even come kick it and hang out.
I like this one better, by the way. This
is Cider Mosa is really
That's my favorite. They were both excellent, but that would be my go-to.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's just a little fresher, especially when it's 72 out here.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Tristan, tell us about your Instagram.
Oh man,
what's your Instagram?
Instagram is just Create38.
Okay, Create38, and then Create38.com to come learn more.
Yep.
All right. Well, stay wild, Alaska.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit acminc.com today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.